I think he's got something to prove, so I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Live from Scotiabank Arena, Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Tampa Bay Lightning in town. The Lightning hit Toronto after a loss Saturday in Ottawa against the Senators. The Leafs, of course, losing to the Rangers right here at Scotiabank Arena on Saturday night. Coach's comments brought to you by Honda. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com for further details. Here's Coach Craig Berube on how to contain Kucherov.
Trying to take away his options the best we can and pressure him. Lincoln, we got to be hard on their skill tonight. That's the big. That's probably the best way to approach it. In saying that, he's an elite player. He's going to make plays.
You're going from Shesterkin to probably Vasilevsky. Is there a tougher back-to-back in terms of facing goalies?
Well, they're both really good. We had plenty of opportunities last game. Like I said, I thought that. We missed a net at crucial times last game. Could have made a difference, and we can do a better job of creating second and third opportunities around the net and more scrums and things like that, and get some dirty goals on these guys. That's how you have to approach it.
With Willie a couple times this game. What do you see his game at right now?
Well, it's pretty good. I mean, he's getting a lot of chances, and he's doing a pretty good job. I talk to Willie daily about just little things and things he can do better, and defensively and without the puck and things like that. Just trying to, again, try to get him better in certain areas, like a lot of players.
Marley, they're off to a great start. Have you had a chance to see them live?
Not live, but I keep track of it, and it's great to see they're doing well. Their goalie's playing well for them, and they got a good team right now.
Right after coaching in the Central all those years, I'm wondering how you've adjusted to Atlantic Division life, and or is it all one and the same in this league now?
Yeah, I think that. The East in general is a little bit more of a transition league here, a little bit quicker than the West. West, I always viewed it as a little bit more heavier and more of a territorial game, in the D zone and the offensive zone. Here's, a lot of quick players out East here, a lot of quick transition plays, and so got to be ready.
Coach Craig Berube on what to look out for. You kind of like the fact that it's Shesterkin Saturday, and tonight it's Vasilevsky, and Saturday it's in Boston. I mean, this is a good series of games to really drive home the defensive responsibility and structure.
Yeah, and you talked about Nikita Kucherov. It's almost similar to, Steph Curry in basketball. If he's struggling to hit that three-pointer, what you don't want to do is give him 20 opportunities, because eventually they're going to start going in. So the same thing here. Don't give Kucherov too many looks. He looks like he's trending towards the exact same season he did last year and having 144 points amongst the lead leaguers. So, again, I think you let them sleep a little bit. Specialty teams have been sleeping. So if I'm Craig Berube, I'm talking about discipline. I'm putting a big D on the board. You got to keep it simple, but you got to have discipline. But right now you have a chance, after last game really struggling to get to the front of the net, really quieting the coach. You want to keep the coach quiet, because what you don't want now is him crying about the same things going into November and December. Get those habits out early, those positive and negative habits, and find a way now just to continue to grow, because those certain things that you shore up early on in the season become a habit, and those positive habits lead to more wins in today's league.
Well, look, in the two games that we talked about, the opening game, the 48 saves by Montreal, and the game Saturday, no power play goals. I mean, even one would have changed the outcome of either one of those games, really.
Yeah, and Craig Berube talked about that being the difference maker in that third period, getting that power play. That gets you back into the game. And then now, I want to see a little bit more urgency on that 6-on-5. We've seen that. Yes, they scored a leading game-tying goals last year, but sometimes they get a little bit complacent and a little bit fancy, and we saw a turnover leading to the goal last game on that 6-on-5. So the easiest thing to do is shoot the puck. The hardest thing is to get to the net, so you got to find that balance. So I'm sure You saw Domi last game with that wide open cage. It looked even worse in slow-mo. I'm sure you're going to see him right now. I'm not a betting guy, but I'm picking over 2.5 shots tonight for him. He's going to be shooting the puck because I'm sure Coach Berube had a chat with him.
So when you have talent like that, especially in the number one power play unit, how do you get players to defer, or maybe the better way to say it is, how does somebody take charge of that and say, I'm going to shoot this?
I think it starts with the quarterback, and right now it's Ekman-Larsson, and I think for him, he's new to this team, so I'm sure he's deferring to some of the superstars, and, I remember playing with, the Eric Stahls and the Olli Jokinens and, some top players, so you're naturally deferred to him, but I think they want to learn from him as well. He's a Stanley Cup champion, so I think he's got to take it upon himself, saying, you know what, I'm going to be the guy that's going to be the go-to play option here and just start firing pucks. So when that happens, it's going to now force those guys to be ready in front of the net. But what I want to see with this group now on those puck retrievals, a lot of one-and-done plays. So I think pound the puck, but be ready if it misses or it's tipped and it goes in the corner to retrieve those pucks. So it's tough when you have a bunch of superstars that can make the seam passes. They can do the Michigans. They can really, dipsy doodle out there. But when you want to be successful, when the going gets tough, when the penalties are few and far between game 60 to 80, it's the power plays that aren't afraid to revert to the simplicity. Those are the ones that are most successful in the league.
So let's go back to the way you described that. I mean, OEL has won a Stanley Cup. He's a mature veteran hockey player. He's a good hockey player, and he fits really well in this team. And yet, when he's on the power play, and this is a hockey thing, he would defer to guys who are already here.
Yeah, but it's when you have a guy on the one flank that can score 70 goals, which is the generational goal scorer, you can have the whatever mindset you have, but just in your core being, you're like, I got to get the puck to this guy because more times than not, it's going to the net. But what I like about it, too, is with Matthews in years past, he might be on the flank. He might be in front of the net. Sometimes we saw him behind the net in preseason. I'm sure they're going to start tinkering with things, too. So OEL is that number one point option, too. But I want to see Marner shoot the puck. He's a guy that you saw. He's got that quick release. He could put it in. But I think it's got to be a system, but a culture, something instilled into your culture. And you'll start seeing that game 10 to 15 to 20. So they're too talented. But right now, it's now a new system, a new state of mind, and it's going to take some time to implement it.
All right, let's talk about the Tampa Blue Line, which we haven't. And this is John Tavares on what Hedman brings to the table.
Yeah, Victor's had an unbelievable career, obviously, so he's taking that responsibility on there, and obviously we know what kind of player he is and the way he can impact the game. So anytime you play against him, you have to be aware of those things and make it difficult on him.
Feels like Stamkos is usually front and center for these games over the years, coming home. How strange is it to get ready for a Leafs Lightning game without Stamkos on the other side?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Obviously what he accomplished there. Starting there and everything he's done. So, nature of the sport and the business. So all we can do is go out there and prepare and for us to be ready and know who their lineup is and what we got to do to be at our best and to make it difficult on them, but certainly be a little different.
Mitch was just saying maybe a bit too cute at times on the power play in the past. What's your sense of the unit? Get some work in this morning going into tonight's game.
Yeah, just got to execute. I think just relax and play. Understand the urgency and the level that we need to be at. But I think just continue to go out there and play and not get too uptight. But certainly, I think being direct and taking what's there, not trying to do too much. I think like what Mitchie's saying, we're trying to be too cute. I think we take what's there, but continue to relax and play and make the reads that we see and trust one another.
You guys got your energy fully back on last night?
Yeah, I would say really starting to kind of get back in the swing of things. It was a real difficult illness I had there for a few days, so take some time to kind of rev things back up. Had the benefit a little bit. We were home all week, obviously a couple days in between games, so good for me. On me to get back into the rhythm that I think that developed over a training camp and the start of the season. So looking to build on the energy that I've been able to recoup here.
You guys go from Shesterkin to probably Vasilevsky. Is there a tougher back-to-back against any goalies in the league?
I think you got to embrace the challenge. I think it's playing in the NHL, playing against the best goalies. I think it's a great opportunity and a great challenge, and for us, you got to enjoy that, got to relish that, knowing the challenge that they present in the net, what makes them elite at what they do, and their skill set and as goaltenders. So obviously seen them a lot over the years, but You're talking about, the most proven goalie in the league probably. So we know the challenge that he presents, so we got to make it hard on him and look forward to it.
Well, we'll see. Let's talk about that blue line. Sergachev out, traded to the then Coyotes and now Utah Hockey Club. That was shocking to me, but they backfilled with McDonough. And so Hedman and Moser was one of the guys that came over in the Coyotes trade. That blue line is as tough as it's ever been, isn't it?
It has. I don't think it has the depth, but there's some cap casualties, and Sergachev has been one of those. But you're able to make those moves and bring in McDonough, but really sacrifice some numbers because of Victor Hedman. And if you look up number one defenseman in the dictionary, it's going to be his 6'5" face taking a look right back at you. And this was a player, I remember his first couple games into the league, and I was looking for someone to intimidate and maybe take their lunch money, and he was one of those guys. And I gave him the Ritz in front of the net. And he looked at me as a rookie, 10, 20 games in the league, and said, try me. So since he came into the league, he knew exactly who he was, confident, great two-way defenseman. He has the big bomb from the point. So if I'm Toronto, I got to find a way to get him turning, because what happens now when you're logging 24, 25 minutes a night, you're tired. If you're tired now having to go on puck retrievals, and every time you get a bump, you're going to tire out second, third period. So he's an elite defenseman. Can you shut him down? No. You can slow him down. If I'm Toronto, that's the game plan tonight.
Oh, he's a big lug, isn't he?
He is, and I saw him a couple years ago at one of the network studios, and I put on a couple pounds since I retired, believe it or not, and he looks like a Viking. And I saw him, but he didn't see me, but I didn't want him to remember that time, so I actually hid and took the scenic route to where I wanted to go, because that's how intimidating he was 10, 15 years later. But I think he's going to go down as a Hall of Fame defenseman, a couple more cups if that's the case. But again, true number one defenseman, and it's been a pleasure to watch now on the broadcasting side, but an honor to play against him.
Well, a guy like that, it always struck me as they have their sort of aura around them. Shea Weber was a guy that, if he hits you, guess what? There's a 10-feet radius around him that he's on, he's hitting, stay away from him. I don't know what the aura would be for Hedman, but he can do so many things offensively that you just don't want to let him build strength.
He's a champion, and that's, I think, the best compliment you can give a defenseman. And, there's the Cale Makars of the world, but, if I'm building an organization and I have to pick first overall, I'm picking a Victor Hedman-type defenseman, a Shea Weber-type defenseman where they can play the power play, they lead you in penalty kill, they play offense, they play defense. He's not necessarily the most high-octane, fanciest defenseman, but just his size, how much ice he takes up, his smarts, whatever school of hockey he's come from. If I'm a young player, it's great to be the Makars and it's great to be the Quinn Hugheses. Watch a Victor Hedman, and yes, being 6'6" makes it a lot easier out there, but it's his non-physical attributes that makes him elite. How many years later, I think it's 15 years in the league, to be able to now play at a high level, put up 50, 60 points, just shows what type of player he is, not just on the ice, but off the ice as well.
Well, we'll set up the opening faceoff for you next. Timmins is back in again, so that's another storyline we'll develop with Liljegren not playing tonight. Pacioretty is back in. We'll go through the lines for you. Reeves is out. Tampa is here. Vasilevsky is here. A continuation of the game Saturday against the Rangers. Well, we're going to see. We'll set up the opening faceoff for you next. Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena, TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Touchdown. Great catch. Give me a high five. 5 minutes later. Interception. Awesome play. Give me a high five. 2 hours later.
Eddie, did you order 20 high five specials from 2 for $1 pizza?
You kept asking for high fives.
I meant... never mind. I'm hungry.
High five. Buy any large traditional pizza and get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for just $5 each.
2 for $1 pizza. 2 for $1.
For a limited time, switch to Shopify Point of Sale, and you could save up to 20% and improve your bottom line. Shopify is so serious.
What's up, Maple Leafs fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're having a great time in the chat like we do every single time the Maple Leafs hit the ice here on Toronto Sports Insider. please hit that like button down below. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm struggling here to give the regular come on, let's like. So I need your enthusiasm tonight, Leafs fans. Hit that like button. Let's get more hockey fans here in the chat as well. Please share this link out so we can get it up the social media boards, the Leafs hockey boards, all of that stuff. Let's get that link out there as much as we can so that we can keep growing this awesome Toronto sports community. Cheers to all of you for hanging out with us, as well as the insiders. So many of you that have been here since day one. Love it. Let's get back to the hockey.
Started resources can help you adapt, learn new skills, build confidence, and move forward. Get Started workbooks are free and easy to use, online, anytime and anywhere, so you can learn at your own pace. Whether you're looking for a job or want to move up in your field, Get Started empowers you with skills like collaboration, adaptability, and problem solving. Improve your skills for work and life. Get started today at upskillsforwork.ca.
5 games in, the Leafs' 2 losses have come against great goaltending performances. Saturday night at home to Shesterkin and the Rangers, and opening night in Montreal against the Habs and Montembeault. Tonight, Tampa and Vasilevsky are here. What does that mean? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome inside Scotiabank Arena. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey all set to sail for a Monday night. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart live from the press box at Scotiabank Arena. Joe Bone and Jimmy Rouse standing by. Here's the Leafs starting lineup. Matthews between Marner and Nies. Domi centering Nylander and McMahon. Tavares centering Robertson and Pacioretty, who's back in. Camp centering Lorentz and Holmberg. And the blue line pairings are Riley, Tanev, Oliver, Ekman, Larsson, and McCabe, Benoit and Timmins, and Anthony Stolarz starts in goal. So, Stu, the big question is Pacioretty back in, and he's got to play well to stay in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And again, I see that Pontus Holmberg's been on the 4th line. He's been drawing the ire of Craig Berube the last couple games. Only 11 minutes last game and -1. But it's an opportunity now for Pacioretty where, you know what, I know he's disappointed he hasn't played, but I'm sure this is part of the plan. You know what, you're going to take some nights off. There's going to be some nights where we've got to get some younger guys going. But I think he's too good of a veteran player to be out of this lineup permanently. So I think for him, he's just got to continue to simplify his game, get his feet moving. You know, maybe get the puck, on the breakouts to Robertson, who's the quarterback, where he can the running back that can log the puck, get in there, and just find a way to create his shot selection. So the one thing I'm looking for right now is John Tavares. Yes, he is on the 3rd line, but that line to start creating some chemistry. And they saw a little bit of that in the preseason, but it's one thing to do it then versus now in the regular season. So if I'm them, just find a way to create shots, get pucks out, get into some foot races down that right side for Robertson. But I want to see them after tonight have 7, 8, 9, 10 shots as a line. So if they do that and continue to build, the pucks are naturally going to go in, because if they get that shot below the dots and in that scoring house, more than likely than not, it's going in the net.
In the game day skate, McMahon was removed from the 2nd unit. Pacioretty was on the 2nd power play unit, so another opportunity that way for him.
It is, and there's a lot of looks and there's a lot of jury being out on this power play unit. So if I'm him, I'm looking to get 3-4 shots, because that's what the coach has been preaching the last couple games. So we'll look to see him. Maybe are we going to expect him in the bumper position? Is that where he's going to be? Getting in front of the net, tipping pucks, but distributing it maybe to the flanks as well. So the points and the goals will take care of itself. I'm more interested to see that line building some chemistry, because you need the 4th line. They have an identity. The 2nd, then the 1st. That 3rd line has sort of been lacking since the season started. Once they do that, you'll see a more complete Toronto Maple Leafs team.
I want to talk about Holmberg. Trending down in terms of minutes, and now on the 4th line tonight. How difficult is it for a player to just sort of turn that momentum around?
Sometimes less is more, and I've caught in that situation before where you're almost like a deer in the headlights, where the game almost becomes too fast. And I've heard Craig Berube mention that he's sort of having a trouble adjusting to the speed. So if I'm him, I'm just worried about playing the games in layers. Okay, I'm in the D zone. Okay, I'm going to now transfer the puck to the neutral zone. Now we're in the neutral zone. I'm going to get it in deep and go on the forecheck. So for him, he scored a couple of beauty goals last year, but he's got to create that identity right now with Camp and Laurent. So now he's on the fourth line. I don't want to see any fancy passes. You got to simplify your game. And it's the easiest thing to do is get into the cycle, get to the net, and try to score those dirty goals. So someone's got to be the guy. Someone's got to be the guy that's drawing the ire. Right now it's him, but I really like his game. I think he's just struggling a little bit early on in the season. But with this group, that competition breeds excellence, and I don't mind somebody being on the outside looking in or that competition.
Got to be difficult when you get less minutes to sort of restore your confidence.
No. I tell everybody I had 20 points, 9 goals, 20 points with a defenseman as my left winger and 0 power play time. So if I can do that, anybody can put up some points. Come on, let's go.
We didn't talk about the Leaf goaltender Stolarz, who played really well Saturday. He's played really well in every game he's been in. He took some heavy artillery Saturday night and bounced back. I mean, it didn't seem to bother him, which is noteworthy.
I try to find adjectives on what he looks like. He looks like a transformer. Like he's just a huge guy in that crease. And I feel sorry for some of the shorter goalies out there, because he's showing that, with the size, it's very tough to beat him. You really have to pick that corner or really crash that net. It just seems that he's just so calm, cool, collected. He's square to the puck, and it's not him making the save. It's just him in position and the puck almost just hitting him. So that coupled with the defensive system, I'm not saying he's unbeatable, but it's very, very tough to build, to beat him. And it's just building confidence on the back end in the system, because when push comes to shove, I think defense wins you some championships, and it starts with goaltending. And he's shown so far through 5-6 games that he could be the guy.
Well, look, we talked a bit about net front and pressure down low in the earlier part of the pregame. The fact of the matter is that's exactly what the Rangers did to Stolarz. It didn't really benefit them, but they got in his kitchen, if you will. They didn't score in any of those goals, but they did get under his skin, and the Leafs did not do that to Shesterkin, so they have to find a way to block Vasilevsky. And they know, because they played him in the playoffs, they did take his eyes away at times.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I dreaded with some of the time in between games, where you just do video and video and video. So it's almost now, it's like, okay, you've done enough video now. It's just time to go out there and perform. And you saw Lafreniere's goal the other night, too. It was a shot and a rebound coming across the crease. You got to get the goalie moving, but you got to take his eyes away. And that's what Craig Berube says. We got to take their eyes away. We got to make it more difficult for them to see pucks. So if I'll see it after the first period to see how much movement Vasilevsky is doing. He's one of those guys that's usually square, but if I see him trying to search for that puck above bodies, that's showing Toronto has learned from last game now, and they're starting to implement what Craig Berube is teaching.
So in the past, if we've talked about Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Nylander, and Tavares, we would have talked about the goal totals. But we don't do that anymore. But in terms of how they played, and John came back after that illness last week, so he actually said earlier in the pregame that he was working his way back in, starting to feel better. But those 4 guys, how would you rate their game so far?
I would say B. And again, I'll simplify it. Is it net positive or net negative? And I say all of them are net positive. And it's a new system. And in years past, yes, you want to see Matthews with 7 goals already and amongst the league leaders. But this is supposed to be a different year, right? There was expectation that they were going to make these swooping changes. But I'm sure Craig Berube came in, and when he took this job, said, no, I want these guys. I can change them. And he probably had conversations with Matthews and Nylander saying, you might have to sacrifice 10 goals, Austin. You can't get 69. We're going to give you 59 there, too. Same with Nylander. Get your 80, 90 points. Marner, we're not chasing 100. And I think with that adds a little bit more responsibility on both ends of the puck. Yes, they're paid to score goals, but they already got their contract. I think for them, they want to win. And playing a two-way game, that's part of it. So if I rated their two-way game so far, I would say right now it's a B, B+.
Okay, so 2 ways to go at this. The obvious one is 2 of those guys are under new contracts, and the other 2 are on expiring contracts. How does that work?
it's already set in stone. And I'm not saying I'm on the inside, but Mitch Marner's getting his $12 million. Whether he has 80 points or 90 points, he has a body of work. And that's where, I'm on social media and I'm listening to all the pundits saying he has to have a great year. No. He's getting his 90-something million dollars, whether it's here in the KHL. He's getting his money any way that you dice it. So I think for him, what he understands now, it adds a couple extra zeros on the end if he wins a Stanley Cup. And the price of his services are going to go up. So if I'm Marner, I'm not worried about the contract. I think he's one of those guys where he's so laissez-faire where I don't think it really bothers him because he's got the body of work where he's getting paid. He's getting paid.
Okay, so what about the mindset of I have to score to win because that's how I made a name for myself, and now I'm not going to score to win. Is that a difficult transition?
I don't think it's a mindset. It's just, and we talked about it on Yes Guy. You in the Olympics for gymnastics, you can have whatever discipline, the pommel horse, or whatever, but everybody on the Olympic gymnastics team knows how to do a backflip. That is the basics. You got to learn how to do a backflip. Yeah. So everybody in the National Hockey League has a natural sense and a natural ability to play defense. Some cheat the game, some are able to get away with it because they put up 80, 90 points. But it's not about adjusting or changing, swooping changes. It's just being a little bit more mindful on getting pucks deep, being a little more mindful in the defensive zone, blocking shots, simplifying your game, getting more shots as opposed to playing the role plays and puck possession. Those are those things that are going to lead to probably a little less points, but more wins. And once there's that belief in the system, that's when you're going to see this team take the next step.
It's a pommel horse, but you never bring up the box horse turned sideways.
What's the one with the ribbon? I want that one. What's that one called? The floor routine, the ball. Get in the ball.
The floor routine, yeah, okay. So how do you see this game tonight? I mean, it's obviously going to be a defensive battle.
I think so. I can see Toronto coming out, and you never say crash in the net. You can see them crashing the net where maybe you see the post come off its moorings in the first 5-10 minutes. We talked about the discipline. You do not want to have Kucherov, get to work. So I could see it being a nothing burger for the first 5-10 minutes and seeing it opening up in the second period.
All right, the opening faceoff is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Heard it. If it's happening in baseball.
Ball game over. American League Championship Series over. Yankees win.
It's on MLB Network Radio.
I'm here with Aaron Judge right now.
Bunch our ticket to the World Series. It's just unbelievable. So proud of these guys.
Aaron Boone's with me now.
I'm very emotional. I'm just so proud of these guys.
Standing with Juan Soto, the hero of this game.
It's the best feeling you can ever feel,
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this Dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
And I found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room,
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning colliding for the first time in 4 meetings this season. And this has been a pretty good rivalry over the years, and it's expected to be much the same. The Lightning, of course, making the big splash in the offseason, not re-signing Steven Stamkos, who moves on as a free agent to the Nashville Predators. But with Kucherov and company, this is a pretty solid hockey team.
Yeah, and Nikita Kucherov has won a couple of scoring titles in the league, but even last year, he wins the scoring title. Only the, 5th player in NHL history to record 100 assists, and still is not a winner of the Hart Trophy. But I tell you, he's one of my sneaky favorites of the National Hockey League skill.
Here the Leafs as the puck is down in the Toronto zone. Glad you're along with us. We may have a few more extra people listening tonight as it's brought out at center ice and to the left wing side for Domi. Domi trying to cut to the net, but it was knocked away from him, and it comes up on the far wing, and now the Lightning are out at center ice, working in over the line. And a shot deflects wide of the goal is trying to get to the net there was Cirelli. Leafs counter with Nylander. Gets to the line, but had it knocked off his stick by Hedman. Hedman goes down with the puck underneath him, and it's cleared around back of the net. Matthews attempting to steer it free, but can't. Now back along the boards. It comes to Matthews in front of the net, and a little toe drag move. He couldn't get around the last defender. Kept alive and brought down into the Toronto zone and shot in wide of the net. Hustling in there after it was Jake Gunsel. And the Leafs are going to play it out at center to Marner, who tips it ahead. Matthews carries in over the line. Dropping for Nies. Nies to Marner. He's in alone. And that was stopped. The rebound is still free in front of the goal. It comes back to the point. Holding now, and a shot is off a leg and back to the near side. Ekman-Larsson pumps it back in. Marner trying to get it back to the net for Nies. Nies curls out of the corner, reverses his field, centers in front, a shot, and that is stopped by Vasilevsky, but the Leafs have had some good pressure here. Played around the boards and back off the bench. Just getting there in time to keep it in was Connor Timmins. Benoit playing it around back of the net. Robertson trying to chase down Moser, and now it is played off the boards to the line, but still not out. Kept alive by Pacioretty. Pacioretty around back of the net, too far for Robertson. Robertson gets a drop pass then from Timmins. Near side Benoit. His shot went off a skate and went harmlessly wide. Centering pass doesn't connect. It comes back to Benoit, and his drifting shot went well wide. Cleared out at center ice by Tampa, who are in desperate need of a change. Leafs trying to take advantage of that. Here's Tavares rolling it in front of the net. Pacioretty couldn't get his stick on it. Pacioretty in the corner with Tavares. They battle. The puck squirts free. And the Lightning will get it out at center ice. Geekie in over the line. Broken up there. Grabbed by Robertson. Fed back the other way for Tavares. He'll get to the red line, shooting it in, and hustling in there after it. Pontus Holmberg. He gets a hit into the corner. The puck comes free. And the Lightning will get it out at center. Geekie will send it in. Round back of the net. Holmberg on the left wing. Gets to center. Banking it in to the zone. Lorentz got in there after it, trying to play it in front of the net. Around back of the goal for Lorentz. Lorentz double teamed in the far corner. Gets it back to the net, but there's Camp stealing it back. Only to have it restored by Ryan McDonough. McDonough just flipping it now high down into the Toronto end. Pretty good start for the Maple Leafs. Only the one shot on goal making it through, but they have certainly had the territorial advantage.
It's got to be at least 5 that they threw towards the net if they didn't get to Vasilevsky.
Played in over the line, broken up there by Nylander. Fed ahead to the line, but not in. And the Leafs have to go back to their own blue line, and now Domi flips it into the far corner. Kucherov playing it to the line, knocked back by Domi. Kucherov again sends it through center ice. And the Leafs have it once more at the red line, and it is Morgan Rielly pumping it right back into the zone. Domi down into the corner. Back to the net for McMahon. Got it in front of the net for Nylander, who scores! Willie Nylander set up with some great forechecking and a centering pass from Bobby McMahon. And the Leafs have the opening goal.
Already number 4 for Willie Nylander. You'll remember he was robbed by Igor Shesterkin in the third period of the game against the Rangers. And now, similar spot on the ice. Between the hash marks, pass came from the left of Vasilevsky below the goal line out to the hash marks, and Nylander's one-timer beats the Tampa goaltender, and for Nylander, it is not his first against Vasilevsky. That is number 9 in his career against the Vezina Trophy winner.
Played around the boards into the zone again. The Leafs get it back to the point. Fed off on the wing in front of the net. Matthews! Oh, and that went off the shoulder of Vasilevsky. Matthews in the far corner. Back into the slot for Marner. Marner just keeping it in, and around back to the net it'll go. Nies unable to reach it in time. Down the boards, though, is Ekman-Larsson keeping it alive. And the Lightning just play it out at center ice. And it'll go back into the Toronto zone where Jake McCabe hustles to it. Being chased hard there by Brandon Hagel. The puck comes into the near corner. Sent back at the net. And after it goes Choppy, who plays it around back of the net. Nylander from Domi and McMahon. Flipped back down into the zone. McMahon made the great play, but he just did get it to Domi, who gets the primary assist on the goal.
For Domi, that's his 6th assist on the season.
Leafs forced back into their own zone. Connor Timmins. Whoa! Blew a tire and went nose first into the inboards. He's back on his skates and okay, but could have been dangerous. Now here's Pacioretty sliding it back into the right wing corner. Goes, oh, and a big hit there by the veteran as he takes the defenseman to the boards heavily. Puck along the boards out at center ice. Pacioretty sending it back. Pacioretty out of the lineup for a couple of games. And then Pontus Holmberg came in for a little criticism from the coach, too. Subtle little things. Here's a loose puck in front, and a shot is off the side of the goal. Leafs are buzzing here and leading 1-0. Was it subtle or not so subtle? I don't think it was very subtle. Yeah. Shot goes off a leg.
That hit by Pacioretty, it's like he said, if I'm in for Ryan Reaves,
yep,
you got it.
You got it. I'm going to be physical. Lightning get it in over the line with a long shot that Stolarz makes the save on. And that was part of the starting lineup that was brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the starters have come out and played well here in the early going. McMahon. Lead pass at center that didn't reach Nylander. Brought back in by the Lightning, and down into the corner goes Geekie. He can't come up with it. The Leafs have played it out and down the ice, but no icing. Changes coming here as we approach 7 minutes played in the first period.
What's funny for Anthony Stolarz is his goals against average is actually better in losses than it has been in wins this year.
Here's Kucherov centering in front of the goal. It comes back to the point. Moser with a shot that is swallowed up by Stolarz and held for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. And the face-off is brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. It is a 1-0 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Billy Joel. We've got stories about my songs and lots more on the Billy Joel channel.
Now for a limited time.
I lit the keys of a piano on fire during one of our club gigs that we did in the early 70s. I had some lighter fluid, and I said, what the hell? The Billy Joel Channel.
Exclusively on Sirius XM Channel 17. Everywhere on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The Toronto Maple Leafs fan that's hanging out with us listening to the Lightning and the Leafs tonight. And everybody else that has been here as an insider for so long. Thank you for helping us reach 50,000. Of course, it would happen when I'm sick and under the weather. But, it is what it is. We keep pushing forward. We're live tonight. We're live tomorrow night. We're live for opening night of the Raptors as well. And we're getting ready for the World Series. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell. And we'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go, Leafs. Let's finish this one strong.
Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Nylander's fourth from Domi and McMahon at 3:57 has the Leafs out in front. 1-0.
By first assist of the year for Bobby McMahon as Willie Nylander is now past his line mate for the team lead in goals. Nylander 4. We've got McMahon with 3 and Austin Matthews and John Tavares with a couple each.
Leafs are 2-0 when they have scored the opening goal of the game. Nies carries down into the offensive zone, had it taken away by Giannis Moser, and the Lightning get it back out into the center ice area. Fed to an open wing. Marner trying to get there in time, but Hedman got there with the long reach. The Lightning will backhand it out into neutral ice, and it's chipped now down into the Toronto zone. Ekman Larsson around on the boards. Marner trying to bank it to the blue line, but had it cut off. Here the Lightning into the slot, a shot, and Kucherov had his shot kicked away by Stolarz. Kept alive on the boards by Point. Point works back to the blue line, sends it back along for Kucherov. Kucherov has it taken away, and out come the Leafs now with Nies. Nies in over the line, trying to get it in with a shot, and Matthews was stopped there by Vasilevsky. Kucherov lay on the ice for a while trying to convince the officials of a penalty. None was coming.
Now in his personality, there's going to be a spear behind the play coming pretty soon.
Now Riley in across the line, left wing side, sends it around into the Lightning zone. Cut off back in the far corner. Chernik gets it up on the wing, and out come the Lightning to center as it's backhanded by Chaffee and over the line. Leafs intercept, send it back the other way, but Icing is waved off by the linesman. Lightning have to restore it, and will get it off a stick, and it's going to slide down into the Leaf fan without Icing. Or no, I am corrected. It is whistled down for an icing, and so we can tell you Kendrick Nicholson and Brandon Blandina, the referees. Travis Gullitz and Mark Shuchuk are the linesmen this evening.
I mean, it's funny, the Leafs and Tampa very similar. 5-on-5, both teams came in 2 for 16 in the power play, which you realize that Tampa's got to adjust without that shot of Steven Stamkos. Both teams, Leafs are 3 for 20 in the penalty kill. Tampa 4 for 15, or have killed off 11 of 15.
Bouncing puck comes in front of the goal as it's pushed to the line. Timmins is able to corral it. Timmins dropping it off for Domi. Back along the boards for McMahon. McMahon tries to send it in a little deeper, but it's cut off by Ryan McDonough. And the Lightning will get it around on the boards to center and send a left wing pass that is intercepted by McMahon. Drop pass now for Nylander and a shot from an angle. Big rebound laying in front of the goal, but neither McMahon nor Domi could get to it. It comes to the point. Ekman Larsson into the slot area for Nylander. He curls on the near half board, sends it towards the front of the net. Trying to extricate his stick there was McMahon, but I think there were more than two hands on the stick there at that point. Now the wraparound attempt going the other way was knocked away by Stolarz. Looked like the Lightning player was about to celebrate, wasn't it?
Looked like he had the room on the far side of the wraparound.
Camp back in the Toronto zone. Takes the puck back to the goal. Drops it off now for Ekman Larsson. Oliver Ekman Larsson. Ahead for Morgan Rielly. Bank pass tipped in by Pontus Holmberg. Camp was ridden off the forecheck. The puck comes along the boards, kept in by Rielly. He feeds it to the far side. Lightning are going to come away with it. And they'll get it up on the wing. And Atkinson gets it out for them, and it is shot into the Toronto zone by Nick Paul. 1-0 Toronto. A goal from Willie Nylander. Lightning back in their own zone. Chernik sends it up on the wing, and it is shot in over the line now by Atkinson. Leafs are able to come away with it. And now trying to work out with Marner, who gets it on the ring for his defense. And Timmins carries to the line and shoots it in. And then goes in to do some forechecking and then decides better of it and peels back to the blue line. The puck kept in by Matthews. Matthews sent it to an open wing trying to find Marner. And out comes the Lightning led by Point. Braden Point ahead for Kucherov. Broken up there by Marner. Marner trying to backhand out at center for Matthews. Had it knocked away. Point will restore it, and the Lightning start back up ice. Braden Point hits the blue line, trying to stick handle through the defense. That didn't work. Played around the boards for Kucherov in the near corner. Kucherov working down in and along the wall. That was broken up. The puck comes back to the blue line. Hedman will walk the line, sends it back in on the boards for Kucherov. Kucherov shot in traffic. Big rebound off of Stolarz, but cleared away. In along the boards, a hit there takes his man to the boards, and another shot by Kucherov is stopped by Stolarz and covered up with Point right on the doorstep.
That's what you love about the Leaf goaltending here early on in the season. Not necessarily being forced to be spectacular, but when you need a save, they seem to be able to get it, and Anthony Stolarz here battling with traffic in front, but nothing squeezes through.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew. Instead,
what's up, Leafs fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let's see where Leafs Nation is watching tonight here on TSI. Let us know. Put your flag emojis out in the chat as well. Let us know your city and state, city and province in Canada. Let's see how far out our reach goes. Man, it is really hard recording these things when you're not feeling good. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let us know how far we are in this great globe of ours. Let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go!
To maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Leafs leading the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0, and a special note tonight, unfortunately. We have to announce the passing of Pete Conacher, a wonderful individual who played with the Blackhawks, the Rangers, and the Maple Leafs, was a member of the World Cup champion Belleville McFarland's 1959. Hedman's shot goes wide of the net. Pete was one of the nicest individuals you could ever meet. And to his wife, Ann, and the entire Conacher family, our deepest sympathies. What a tremendous individual he was.
And I mean, we talked about losing Ronnie Ellis before that as well. You talked about two guys that were just outstanding people.
Yep. Played by Hedman around back of the net. Leafs unable to get to it. A centering pass into a crowd. Dug out there by Robertson, and he makes a pretty good play to get it out.
He might have pulled out the nerves of a riverboat gambler.
Yes, he did. He had to stick handle around a couple of bodies, didn't he? Hedman, the new captain of the Lightning, sends it down into the Toronto zone. Riley got it ahead, but unable to handle the pass was Steven Lorentz. And it is shot right back down into the Toronto end. Riley around back of the net. Got it into the corner. Cut off there, however, by Icing. The Leafs come away with it. And an alley-oop pass to center. Pontus Holmberg will get it in deep into the Lightning zone. Holmberg down in the far corner. Dug out by Lorentz. Cross-ice pass for Ekman-Larsson. Doesn't shoot it. Works down into the corner. Reverses the puck, and a penalty coming here against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Goaltender out of the net, and the extra attacker is on, and Matthews is back into his own zone. Leaving it for Ekman-Larsson. Sidesteps a forecheck, gets it ahead to Matthews. Matthews over the line for McCabe. Cross-ice pass for Marner. Marner rolls it in front of the net. No one there. Oh, and a hit there by Ekman-Larsson. Oh, boy, did he step into his man. And it was all quite legal. However, as soon as the Lightning player touches the puck, the whistle's going to go. So I can understand it just saying, wait a minute here.
And I think, was that Connor Geekie that came in after the hit? David Kampf, I don't know if I love this call. Even though it goes the Leafs' way, Darren Radish kind of collides with David Kampf. Interference is a call, but if Kampf doesn't go down, I don't know if this is going to be a penalty.
13:35 the time of the penalty.
Well, you do love the late hit. And this is where Tampa's a little different. I mean, they don't have the Corey Perrys and Pat Maroons on the ice.
Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealer. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical, full-time, all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
As said, Tampa killed off 11 of 15. But the Leafs have only scored twice in 16 opportunities in the power play. And both those goals came in one game against the LA Kings.
Scrum, and the puck comes back to the point, and Ekman-Larsson has it there. Ekman-Larsson now to Tavares, fed off on the far wing for Matthews. He fakes a pass, carries down into the corner. Behind the net, it goes to Nylander, and back now to Marner. Top of the circle, left wing side. Dropped off for Nylander at the half boards. Down low to Marner, coming out in front. Oh, and he rolled it just wide of that far post. Kept in at the point by Ekman-Larsson, but stolen and shot down the ice by Tampa Bay. Minute 25 to go in the power play.
As much as I love Morgan Riley in the power play, Ekman-Larsson has that ability to get pucks through from the point.
Kept in along the boards and down into the Tampa Bay zone. Or at least Nylander forces the puck back. It goes to Marner at the blue line. Walking the line, drops it off into the corner. Nylander centers. Tavares couldn't lift it over top of the goaltender, and it is cleared by the Lightning out and down the ice. Tampa Bay is 26th in penalty killing. They've given up 4 goals in 15 times short. Shot in by Riley. Around the boards, it'll come to Robertson. Domi trying to help out. Robertson knocked down on the play. Pacioretty sent it around back of the net. But the Lightning get to it first and send it out and down the ice. Riley goes back. Dropping for Domi. Max Domi hitting the line in traffic. Off on the wing for Robertson. Swung around the boards to Nies. Nies down into the corner. Tried to make a pass back to the blue line. It was easily intercepted and sent down the ice, and 16 seconds remain in the first power play opportunity for either team. Riley will bring it to center. 1-0 Toronto. Camp gets it down into the corner and sends it around the boards. Knocked back in along the line, and the penalty is over as it is set out into the near corner, but David Camp is able to come away with it. Out dropping it off for Pontus Holmberg. Back to the point. A one-timer sent there by McCabe was deflected over top of the net.
That was David Camp that got a piece of it.
Long lead pass, and it's a breakaway opportunity. In on goal for Nicholas Paul. Stop. Where's the puck? It slides into the net.
Oh, Simon Benoit coming back. Stolarz makes the save. But Benoit sliding towards his own net carries the rebound in with him. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have tied it on a fluke. Stolarz makes a great play, getting his pad on the shot by Nick Paul, but the rebound is carried into the net by a sliding Simon Benoit. And this game is tied at 1.
For Nick Paul, that's his second goal of the season, and that was an unfortunate turn of events.
Now, I know the Leafs are looking at this. I don't think there's any challenge coming. There wasn't anything Nick Paul did illegally.
I think what they might have been looking at, Jimmy, was the play at the blue line, whether it was offside. Leafs get it in over the line to Nies. Dropped it off in the left wing for Riley. Punched back at the net for Matthews. Wrap around attempt doesn't work. Matthews in the near corner with it, though, trying to center. Blockered away. Now a wrap-around attempt there. Looked like he was held, but no penalty. And Kucherov comes to center to get it down into the Toronto end. Game now tied 1-1. Alley-oop pass by Riley is going to roll on edge and turn into an icing. And so it'll come back into the Toronto zone.
Nick Paul centering the third line on this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Last year, a career year for him points-wise with 46. Goals-wise, hit the 24-goal mark for the first time. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the likes of Nick Paul and Brandon Hagel, Mitchell Chaffee, Anthony Cirelli, because they've certainly got a different look in their top 6 or even top 9.
Face off to the right of Stolarz in the Toronto zone. The Leafs control the face off, and it is Marner getting it out at center, only to have it turned over and brought back in now by Geekie. Geekie dropping it back. It comes to the point. Chernik works to the left wing side. On his backhand, doesn't deliver. It goes back of the goal. Then tried to play it in front, hit the back of the goal. Paul comes out of the corner with it, and a shot is stopped by Stolarz on the short side. Nies trying to work in the corner, but can't. Leafs are in the midst of a change. Domi is out there. A pad saved by Stolarz and a good one. And Marner will play it off the glass high into neutral ice to allow the rest of the change to come. Domi joined now by Bobby McMahon and William Nylander.
Leafs.
Shots favoring Tampa 9-7.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say Leafs dominated early, and Tampa's found a way to get pucks to the net and tie this thing up.
Shot down into the Toronto zone, around back of the net for Timmins. Got it up for Domi, left for McMahon. Rink wide pass, Nylander. Got around one defender, but couldn't get around the second. But then McMahon goes barreling into the corner, taking down his man Girgensons. And the Lightning have to work it up on the right wing side, and Luke Glendening will get to center and shoot it in. Leafs have been the more physical of the two teams. Centering pass and a shot stopped by Stolarz. The referee thought he had it, which he did not. So a quick whistle benefits the Leaf goaltender here.
He needed that the other night when he lost the blade of his skate.
Yeah, no kidding.
Continued. But boy, yeah, big hit by Bobby McMahon. And as much as we talk about how the Leafs were hurt by the absence of Nylander and Matthews in the first round last year, not having Bobby McMahon, I think, was a huge loss in that series against Boston.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 and the all-new SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB postseason heroes. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 22nd. Must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Hedman and Chaffee get the assists on the tying goal. That came at 15:57. Face off in the Toronto zone to the left of Anthony Stolarz. A draw, one cleanly by the Lightning. Back to the point. Wrist shot blocked in front of the net. Gathered up and quickly brought out at center ice by Robertson, who finds Tavares. Across the line and swung around the boards. It'll find Robertson in the near corner. Then a shot taken by Pacioretty was stopped. Rebound knocked away. Lightning bringing it out at center ice. Cirelli in over the line. A drop pass and a quick shot by Hagel. Swallowed up by Stolarz. And a face-off coming in the Toronto zone with 1:36 to go in the first period.
Similar to the way the Tampa Bay Lightning played against Ottawa Saturday afternoon. Senators got out to the early lead. Tampa kept pushing back. Eventually did lose the game 5-4. But the Senators, a number of multi-goal leads that wouldn't stand up, as Tampa always found a way to get back in the game, as they have this one.
Both teams have 6 points coming into this contest. The Leafs are 3-2, the Lightning 3-1. And one of their games postponed because of the hurricane down in that neck of the woods. Back to the point, wrist shot coming, and it's deflected just wide. Leafs get it out at center and down into Tampa Bay territory. Nice story about the ownership of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, I was talking to Robbie Zettler before the game, and Jeff Vinnick, who owns the Tampa Bay Lightning, as scary as it was, obviously, for everyone in Florida, devastating. How he took everybody, staff, family, players.
Gunsel centering it in front of the net and just deflected wide.
Got everyone on a plane and got them out of the Tampa area. He did the same thing, Joe, through COVID, where he looked after arena staff so much. And you wonder why they have such a great tradition in Tampa under his ownership. Players love playing there. Of course, Robbie Zettler did say the taxes is a pretty good break for athletes there as well.
That helps too.
But he said it's just the ownership. It's just a first-class organization, top to bottom.
McDonough sends it down into the zone. A clearing pass doesn't clear. Then a shot went off of Benoit and went wide of the goal. Leafs against the boards, trying to muscle it out, but can't. It comes to an open wing. Benoit will get there first, and then ran into a traffic jam in the corner. Puck comes up on the wing, and it'll be cleared off the glass, high to center, to the blue line, but out of the reach of Pontus Holmberg. Lightning shoot it right back in again. Down the boards is Chaffee against the side, and time is going to run out to end the first period, and it'll be a 1-1 tie after 20 minutes of play, with the shots favoring the Tampa Bay Lightning 11-7.
There have been a lot of games, or most of the games this year, Joe, you're thrilled with the first 3 or 4 minutes, the way that the Leafs have started games, going back to the season opener in Montreal. But then there seems to be a little letdown, and things start to even out a little bit. Obviously, you're never going to play the perfect 60 minutes. But again, we want to go to specialty teams. Get a 1-0 lead. You can go up 2, and you come up snake eyes again. At least 2 for 17 on the power play here early in the season.
So it's a 1-1 tie, and Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart coming along. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sometimes a song can make all the difference.
I'd just like to say thank you to The Message for always uplifting my spirit.
Turn to The Message, a channel filled with songs of faith to lift your spirits as the leaves start to fall.
I'll praise you anywhere.
I listen.
What's up, Leafs fans? How we doing tonight? Hopefully you're doing better than I am with this nasty cold that I've got going on, or whatever. You know, nasty case of the man flu is like what TSI Allison likes to call what I'm suffering from. But big shout out tonight, Super Chat, Igor McJazz. Thank you, Igor. Much appreciated, my man. Really appreciate the support here. Absolutely huge. This work we've been doing with SickKids Hospital is absolutely insane. Just talked with Jordan from SickKids earlier last week, and this is just insane. Just a percentage that we do here. So you just being here, every single ad that runs through YouTube for the advertisers, if you see something, click it, because a portion of the proceeds ends up benefiting SickKids Hospital, a percentage every single month. So there you go. Yeah, there's Allison says in the chat. All of us have been like, stop talking. So I'm going to take Allison's advice here and go get a cup of green tea or something. And we'll go with that. So Johan Yotun says, makes you sound like Macho Randy. Yeah, it's really definitely, oh my God, I'm all messed up, man. But then it squeaks every once in a while too. So, all right, back to the hockey intermission. Leafs started on fire, man. They were looking really good, and then died out a little bit. So, all right, guys, we'll see you back in the chat. Thank you for 50K. Thank you for the super chat, Igor. Any new members tonight? Any more super chats coming through here? Let's go.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And it's tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. TSN After 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart with you live from Scotiabank Arena. What a start by the Leafs, though, physically. I mean, they really took it to Tampa, didn't they?
They definitely stuck to Craig Berube's game plan, and I'm sure what it was get it pucks in deep, get it below the dots, and get to work. And what I noticed a lot in this period, it's one thing to get to the front of the net. Typically, when you get to the front of the net, you're in front of the other team's defense. They were getting behind, and I saw that first shift for Matthew Nies. He was actually behind Vasilevsky, so he was taking crush to net literally, and it led to, even on the Nylander goal, that it pushes Vasilevsky back in his crease. And he's such a big goalie. When he's at the top of the crease, it's very difficult to score. So when you have those guys coming in waves, it really pushes you back, which is a really good positive so far for the Maple Leafs. So it's a bad bounce. I'm sure we'll dissect the goal against. But if I'm Craig Berube, I'm really happy with that period. And it's worth noting again, I think this is my third broadcast, 6.5 minutes before Tampa Bay registered their first shot. So starting on time has definitely been a forte for this Maple Leafs team. Finishing strong is something that they still have some work to do.
I was just looking at the hits. The Leafs had 8, and I want to say that all 8 happened in the offensive zone against the boards. A lot of people got rubbed out.
And that just makes it difficult to play against. And I'm sure now, once they do that for the first half of the game, it's going to soften up the Tampa Bay defense, and they're going to be now trying to make pucks up ice a little bit quicker, and they're going to be more prone to mistakes. So just continue to hammer home. They call that the ground and pound. They've executed that so far through 20 minutes.
You'd like to pick on the power play, but there's only one opportunity. And so, but for the first 30 seconds, I mean, they had the little huddle before the face-off. They had that play. I don't know if it ever materialized, but they knew what to do. For 30 seconds, they had him hemmed in, and then the next buck 30, not so good.
Yeah, and I go back to Kirk Muller. He used to say you have to have the killer instinct. It wasn't instinct. And that could be a totally different period if they end up scoring. So I think for them, that's where they got to work on just finding ways to get second and third opportunities. So it was a decent one, but again, for a specialty teams penalty kill that's been struggling for Tampa Bay all season, where they're in the bottom third of the league, you got to find a way to pot one home. So yes, it's early, but that could be the difference maker in some of these close games. So I'm looking for them to have a little bit more urgency in the second and third period when it comes to specialty teams.
So salt in the wound is after the penalty's killed, 22 seconds later, the Tampa Bay Lightning get a fortunate goal. Big save by Stolarz, but Benoit blew a tire and took it into the net.
And I saw Nick Paul on the breakaway, and I was having flashbacks of some playoffs. And I have the worst memory, but I was like, these usually end up in the net, and it was great to see Stolarz make another big save. He had 10 on the period. He's probably made 4 or 5 big saves, and he made one on that breakaway on Paul, but Benoit just happened to blow a tire and crash into the net head first. So it's a bad bounce. So if I'm Craig Berube, I'm not too upset about that, because it's not a game of mistakes. It's what you do after the mistake. And what I noticed is they get the goal in, the next shift comes out, they go right back to work, and it doesn't falter their game plan.
Well, when the Leafs are maybe, I don't know, struggling or fighting it, there's if you cut to the bench, Berube saying patience. So they're they're revisiting that on a nightly basis, aren't they?
Yeah, you can usually see from up top the animation of Craig Berube, and he's not there. So I'm sure he's happy with the way that this period went. And it's about execution, and you're not going to win every single game sticking to the system. What happens, I used to have coaches tell me this, it might take the last minute of the last period for the system to work, and they're starting to trust and believe in it, because it's been a net positive period for Toronto so far.
So in terms of Maple Leafs, who jumped off the page for you?
I really like the McMahon line. He's getting in. He's getting pucks in deep, too. Domi seems like he has a hop and a step, too. So that was the go-to line, I believe, tonight. Matthews seems like he's primed. He had a couple shots on net as well. So for me, it's just that power play. I want to see that power play be a difference maker. And it's early on in the season, I understand that. But, again, a lot of guys had a solid first period for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, just looking at the shots, the Leafs had 7 that got through, another 14 that were blocked or missed. And leading the way, Austin Matthews with a couple, and Nylander with a couple. But it was the physical play, the defensive responsibility, just taking it to Tampa, which was certainly noteworthy. On the goal, McMahon tries to center it, goes off a skate right over to Domi, right out to Nylander, buried.
Yeah, McMahon did his impression of Domi. He usually throws that no-look hope pass, but it was a giveaway by the Tampa Bay Lightning, who gave it right back to Domi, who one touches it to the slot for Nylander for his 4th of the season. So, it's going to be different heroes on different nights, but I like the fact that this line has some extra hop in their step. McMahon seems like he's going to be a constant in the top six, and what a story that's been, him starting off in the press box the first night of the season after not having such a great preseason. So different heroes, different night. Pacioretty had a couple of good shifts there. I'm not sure if you saw Robertson got hammered by Gensel. Here comes Pacioretty, gives him a little chop. So he's getting involved in the game. He had a big hit his first couple shifts as well, too. So it seems like it's contagious. That truculence play is very contagious, and that's going to lead to more scoring opportunities for the skilled guys to really work and do what they do best.
As you were saying that, I'm thinking to myself, well, the fourth line got physical. I remember a hit Lorentz delivered, and he had 3 hits in that period. Holmberg was noticeable, Camp was, and Lorentz was. That's a pretty physical line.
It is, and when you have your top guys going out there throwing hits, and that's what you're paid to do, it makes you have that extra hop in your step. And I think the hit of the period was McMahon, where he maybe got caught off a screen and caught the defender in the corner there. That rattled the cage. And what that does now, gets the crowd in it. And sometimes when you're on the road and the crowd's in it and they're just taking away your will and you're just a tough night, you can pack it in. So I know Tampa Bay, they have that championship spirit. More likely than not, they're not going to do that, but you want to take the will away from your opponent.
And just a quick thought, I mean, as good as Vasilevsky is, he wasn't the story in the first period.
No, he took one off the noggin there. I saw Matthews there pick up, and what I noticed was he was swimming a little bit, and when Vasilevsky's set and he's not really working in the crease, that's when he's at his best. But I noticed he was going left to right. He looks like he was struggling to find position in his crease, but that was part of the game plan by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Get in his crease, make it tough for him to play against, make it tough for him to get to the top of the crease too. So again, I predicted a net coming off its mooring. It was close to that, but we'll see in the second and how it goes.
It's tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname.
What's up, Maple Leafs fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're having a great time in the chat like we do every single time the Maple Leafs hit the ice here on Toronto Sports Insider. Please hit that like button down below. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather. So I'm struggling here to give the regular, come on, let's like. So I need your enthusiasm tonight, Leafs fans. Hit that like button. Let's get more hockey fans here in the chat. As well, please share this link out so we can get it up at the social media boards, the Leafs hockey boards, all of that stuff. Let's get that link out there as much as we can so that we can keep growing this awesome Toronto sports community. Cheers to all of you for hanging out with us, as well as the insiders. So many of you that have been here since day one. Love it. Let's get back to the hockey.
The housing crisis in the GTA has reached a critical point, with more than 2 in 3 residents being affected.
Reporting that almost 9 million Canadians are living in food-insecure households.
Over 1 million people in the GTA now live below the poverty line.
We're just out today. Mental health support is the #1 reason people are calling 211 for assistance.
At United Way, we wake up to a different alarm every day. Help us end poverty and build a better GTA any way we can. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org.
A 2025 Canada's Wonderland Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits through the rest of this year and all of 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of Halloween Haunt and Winterfest. Plus, ride the all-new Alpine Fury, Canada's longest, tallest, and fastest launch coaster, coming in 2025. All for just 12 payments of $9, plus taxes and processing fee up to $9.99. Online only. Get your 2025 Gold Pass now at canadaswonderland.com.
If you've got room in your day to doom scroll until your battery dies, binge an entire season of reality TV, or watch funny cat videos on loop, you've got room for play. With thrilling arcade games, epic attractions, live entertainment, crave-worthy food, and handcrafted cocktails, the Rec Room is the ultimate place to let loose and have fun. The Rec Room. Make room for play. Find the Rec Room near you at therecroom.com.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. This is the only game in the league tonight. 1-1, Tampa and the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. Nylander for Toronto and Paul for Tampa Bay. Coming up next, the second period, Molson Canadian Leafs hockey continues on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
When superstars get moved in the NFL,
the Jets are trading for Devontae Adams.
The lines move.
The Bills say, hold my beer, Amari Cooper.
Sports Grid Radio's experts analyze all the numbers.
The Bills' updated odds to win the AFC went from plus 550 to plus 450.
A 20-1 AFC championship price for the Jets is now shorter by $3.
As the odds change, stay with the experts that can give you a winning edge. On Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Now we're here. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph back here as the Leafs and the Lightning are tied 1-1. Notice this is the first Amazon Prime game on a Monday night. And Adnan Burke and Andy Petrello, two former employees of Leafs TV. And I said, and Mark Askin is producing the game from the truck. I said a nice little note to the birthday boy, Paul Hendrick, yesterday. I said, the only thing missing is you, me, and Harry Neal.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's fine. So.
Well, I was there for a year, remember?
Yes, you were. But that was when there was no hockey. Remember, you were on the panel with us.
But then I wasn't there after that.
Yeah, and then you weren't there then. No, and then you were here.
Well, I was always here, but they made sure I was never there again. And I remember saying, one day this won't even exist.
Really? And you said that?
Not out loud.
Not out loud.
But I was right.
Second period brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it. The Leafs will defend the goal to our left, and the Tampa Bay Lightning to our right. 11-8 shots favoring the Lightning as we get ready. And the puck is dropped, and we're underway for the second period as the Lightning and Kucherov send it down into the Toronto zone. Ekman Larson sending it around to the far side where Nies traps it there. Hit there by Kucherov, frees the puck up, and the Lightning have it in the offensive zone with a shot. That was blocked. It's cleared to the line and off a stick and down into Tampa Bay territory. Nies will provide some forechecking, but Hedman cuts around that net rather tightly to get it up back out at center ice and in over the line. Hedman down into the right wing corner, around the boards into the near side. Pinching down there to keep it alive is Gunsel. Gunsel has it taken away, and the Maple Leafs start back up ice. Marner on the wing, can't get it out across the line as it hit a skate, and the Leafs have to go back into their own zone to restore it, and Christopher Tanev starts out. Tanev straight up ice to center. The shoot-in will go around the boards to the far side to allow a change of players. The puck is knocked free. Leafs trying to come up with it, but then Bobby McMahon overskated it. Lightning get it ahead to Cirelli, and we have a whistle.
Looks like a penalty. Referee has his arm up, making his way over. You would think it's got to be going to Tampa because the Leafs have control of the puck.
And the Tampa door is open. And one of the Lightning coming from the bench is coming over to...
Number 41, 2-minute minor for hooking.
So, second power play of the game. Second one for the Leafs. Trying to get a look at this on the replay. This might be a little bit on the iffy side as well, but Mitchell Chafee is gone for hooking.
1:06, the time of the penalty. Power play is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Lightning get the puck out into the center ice area. Ekman Larsson starting through center, drops it back for Nylander. Nylander works to the red line. A pass in on the left wing for Matthews. Dropped it back. It'll come to the blue line. Ekman Larsson to Marner. Back to Ekman Larsson, top of the circle. A shot went high and wide. Kept alive by the Leafs and around back of the net. Matthews does a nice job to free the puck up, but it comes off a stick. And the Lightning are going to get it out and down the ice. Now long up by the goaltender. Brought in over the line by Marner. Into the slot for Nylander. Back to Marner. A shot, and it scores! Matthews gets a juicy rebound that goaltender Vasilevsky, I believe, thought he had.
What happened was Vasilevsky did not butterfly. He stayed on his feet. Marner snapped it around thigh high. Vasilevsky thought he closed everything off and had it, but it dropped right to Matthews. And the Leaf captain has his third as he just slams it between the pads of Vasilevsky.
And unfortunately, Anthony Stolarz is not going to get an assist because Nylander and Marner made the passes prior to, but it was the breakout pass from the goaltender that sets the goal up.
But you like the fact that the Leafs score a goal with A, Mitch Marner firing the puck, and B, two players going to the net looking for a rebound that eventually came.
First power play goal of the season for Austin Matthews. And the 69-goal scorer a year ago has his third of the season, and the Leafs have their second lead of the hockey game. Played down into the Toronto zone. Camp has it go off a skate. Pontus Holmberg trying to drive in over the line, beat his man to the puck. Whoa, and then getting upended there was Steven Lorentz, but the puck goes free. David Camp trying to center it, and it was picked off by the Lightning and played off the boards up on the near wing. Timmins pinches to keep it alive, but the Lightning play it off a skate then, and it goes deeper into their own zone. Holmberg can't keep it in. Camp will battle for it as it comes to the line and in, and the Leafs are getting a change of players going. Down into the Toronto zone. Puck hits the official, and the Lightning keep it in with a shot. That was blocked, played off the boards and ahead, just out of the reach of Max Pacioretty, and despite his efforts, and most of the officials in the seats agreeing with me, that should not have been icing.
Well, I mean, he got back in time to touch it, but the officials are going to say that he did not hit the hash marks first. By the way, Brady Tkachuk scored a very similar goal to what Matthews just scored on a rebound, slamming at 5-hole between. Did John Tavares get a piece of that original shot, Joe? Not by Vasilevsky. Tavares was in front, sort of to the right of Vasilevsky, Matthews to the left. Marner was going far side. This may have gone off Tavares first, then Vasilevsky.
So are you suggesting there may be a change in the scoring?
Mm-hmm.
Point shot, nope, comes to Hedman. Hedman sends it around the boards to the far corner. Kucherov got it in front of the net. The Leafs chip at it and are going to get it freed up for Pacioretty. He sends it ahead for Tavares across the line. Trying to drop it off there for Robertson. He sends a wrist shot wide of the net. Nies in the middle of a line change, getting it back to the point. Ekman Larson, and a point shot was stopped. The rebound corralled by Tavares. His shot is going to be gloved easily by Vasilevsky and held for a faceoff coming in the Tampa Bay zone. Leafs 2 and the Tampa Bay Lightning 1 here in the second period as 3:30 has been played in the second frame.
And though Steven Stamkos gone to the Nashville Predators, they bring back Ryan McDonagh, who's really had some incredible success with the Tampa Bay Lightning. When they first brought him in 2017-18, they acquired him from the New York Rangers for the playoff run. They ended up being beat out by the Washington Capitals that year, but then 3 straight trips to the Stanley Cup Finals. Actually, since McDonough's been in Nashville, Tampa has been out in the first round the last 2 years. The Leafs a couple of years ago, and then the Florida Panthers last season.
Nylander curls at his own blue line. Flips in on the right wing, cut down there by McDonagh, fed ahead, and out comes Cirelli with it, and that bogged down at the blue line and is whistled down offside by the linesman. The Leafs will hop on an airplane after the game tonight and travel to Columbus, where they will tangle with the Blue Jackets. Tomorrow night, we'll have that action for you beginning at 7:30. Draw outside the Toronto blue line. Matthews line back over the boards. And the draw won by Toronto. Tanev. Bank pass ahead. Matthews tried to tip it in. Pass intercepted. Benoit tries the other side. Nies gets it in deep for him. Marner into the forecheck, trying to ride his man to the boards. Tanev pinched. Knocked high in the air then by the Leafs. That might be a high stick, but now it's waved off because McDonagh has played it for the Lightning. And they'll get it out into neutral ice, but no further. A pass then by Benoit was intercepted, brought back in by Cirelli. A wrist shot is swallowed up by Stolarz. And Brandon Hagel was guided very nicely away from the front of the net by Chris Tanev. So a face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
Brandon Hagel last year, a career high, 75 points. A lot's going to be expected of him, being a top 6 forward this season with the Lightning. 26 goals, 49 assists. A couple of years ago, he hit the 30-goal mark.
Poked by Nies, trying to get by the defenseman, and he does. 2-on-1 break across into the lead. Back to Nies from Marner, and it was deflected just wide of the goal.
One too many passes?
I think so. Marner's got to shoot that.
Yeah, easy to say, I guess, when it doesn't go in.
There's Kucherov now. Left wing side. The shot whistled wide of the goal by Hedman. And the Leafs break it out again. Trying to make it an odd man rush this time, but it's just going to be shot in by Nies as the Lightning go back into their own zone. Long lead pass. That looked like it might be offside, but play goes on. Gunsel dropping it back for Kucherov. Nifty little move, and then he, I think, passed it. If he shot it, he missed the net by 35 feet. That was kind of a strange play, wasn't it?
I don't know if it just clipped a skate when he tried to fire it.
Played into the corner down at the other end, and the Leafs have it in the offensive zone. Pontus Holmberg back to the goal. Taken into the far corner. Tries to get position on the defenseman. Carries back of the net. Knocked down on the play. Grabbed by Radish. And he'll get it to the line, but not out. Long shot by Lorentz was steered wide by Vasilevsky. Puck up against the boards, but the Lightning come out with it. Tampa Bay to center. Brought in over the line by Eisman, and now heading to the bench. Leafs back in their own zone. Timmins for Benoit. Up ahead, off the stick of Pacioretty to gain the zone. Pacioretty into the forecheck. Tavares likewise, and Robertson. Robertson trying to dig it free, looking for a man in front. Benoit's kind of hanging around right out in the slot. If they can get the puck, there's about 8 guys in the corner here. The puck finally does come free as it comes to Timmins, quickly to Benoit, but he can't get the shot away. It rolled off his stick.
Probably why they weren't guarding him that closely. Still looking for his first goal as a Leaf.
Down into the corner. Tavares tried to work it out in front. That was stopped. Backhand by Tavares hits the side of the goal. Lightning send it high to center. Volleyballed ahead by Benoit. Carried back in now by Chaffee, and it goes around the boards, and the Leafs have it again. Tavares up ahead on the left wing side, and the stick of Pacioretty explodes as he tried to get a shot away. Nylander into the forecheck for Toronto. Cleared to the line and out. And back at the blue line is Ekman-Larsson to get it ahead. Chipped in over the line. Stolen back by the Lightning. Stolen back by Ekman-Larsson. Stolen back by the Lightning. A lot of thievery going on here. Now here's Nylander in on the right side. Scores! The ultimate thief. Grabs it off the right wing boards, and Willie got his second of the game.
A case of the Leafs continuing to win battles and races to loose pucks. As the Lightning end up having it stripped. But Bobby McMahon, Joe, again, makes a great play. Takes his man and one-hands it up the right wing boards to Nylander. That sets up the 2-on-1 with Max Domi. Nylander looks up, spots a little bit of room between the pads of Vasilevsky, and hits the target to give the Leafs a 2-goal lead here, 3-1 in the second period.
5th of the season for Nylander.
And maybe Willie was thinking, if I pass it, Max ain't shooting it anyway.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm getting it right back, so I might as well throw it in. By the way, it took Max Domi until December 2nd to score his first goal of the year in his first year as a Leaf last year. He came in a home game against the Boston Bruins.
Well, he's still looking.
I know, I was going to say, he'd kind of like to beat that mark.
Holmberg got it back to the point. A feathering shot goes well wide of the goal. And the Lightning will get it out at center ice. 3-1 Toronto.
Ooh, that's too many men.
Yeah, there was a few on there for the Lightning, but play goes on. Chipped in over the line now by Hagel. Hagel in the far corner gets it back into the slot, and a shot. Oh, and a block. What a block there by Chris Tanev. And he's back on his skates, and he's hurt as he rolls that puck back into his goaltender. He is just a warrior, isn't he? Just a warrior. That went off his arm. This time he's not going to go to the dressing room the way he did when it took the block the night before.
But like Saturday, he goes down and then turns his body to try to make up more room and ends up getting hit in a spot that isn't very protected.
So a break in the action with the Maple Leafs leading 3-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The Toronto Maple Leafs fan that's hanging out with us listening to the Lightning and the Leafs tonight. And everybody else that has been here as an insider for so long. Thank you for helping us reach 50,000. Of course, it would happen when I'm sick and under the weather. But, it is what it is. We keep pushing forward. We're live tonight. We're live tomorrow night. We're live for opening night of the Raptors as well. And we're getting ready for the World Series. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell. And we'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go, Leafs. Let's finish this one strong.
Live
live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs. It's still not as cool as consolidating debts into one easy payment, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
The best way to experience the brilliant autumn colors? How about a country...
Face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, Jim Caddy, Anthony Stewart coming along. Owen Hall producing. Cameron Moore and Josh Lippa pushing buttons.
Leafs with 2 goals already here in the second period. Already this year, they have scored 3 goals in a period twice. 3 in New Jersey to win, and then 3 against the Los Angeles Kings in the first period.
Pass to the side of the goal, broken up, centering feed, knocked down there nicely by Hedman, who gets it back to the point, just kept in. Kucherov on the far boards, tries to center, that deflects high, off the near glass in the corner. Lightning with it again and trying to cycle the puck. It's cleared to the line, and it's going to come out and be shot in, and that's a delayed offside as Kucherov takes it. Even strength goals thus far for the Maple Leafs. 2 more here in this game. 15 and have allowed 6 at even strength thus far this season.
Now, so much talk in the offseason about what needed to be addressed, whether it was better defensive play, whether it was 5-on-5 play. But we've certainly seen that, haven't we? I mean, the first few games, you start to question whether it's because you've been told that this team is going to play different, so are you judging them differently? But I think by now, Joe, I don't know, I'm sure you'd agree with it, it is a different style of play. It's heavier, like you said in the first period. The Leafs have been the more physical team, and there weren't a lot of games that you would have said that last year.
Shot deflects to the side of the lead goal off the goaltender Stolarz, then around to the far side. Pacioretty trying to get it out, so did Tavares, but it was blocked. Kept in now by the Lightning. Into the left wing corner now for Geekie. Got it back towards the blue line. The Leafs are able to break it out with Connor Timmins bringing it to the line. Dishes off to Tavares. Back it goes to Pacioretty. He scores! From well out. Max Pacioretty let it go in a hurry. And that is not a good goal for Andrei Vasilevskiy.
And out of old habits, the first thing I did when it went in was look at the Tampa bench and the coach, John Cooper, who right away looks down to his right and says, "You're up, kid," as Jonas Johansson will take over for Vasilevskiy. This was just, it looks worse than it was, Joe, because there was a screen. It comes from a fair distance out top of the left wing circle. But a bit of a screen, but Pacioretty just, as soon as it was on his stick, he threw it to the net. And the Leafs with 3 goals in the first 9 minutes and 31 seconds of the second period. And I don't recall if the Leafs have ever chased Andrei Vasilevskiy in the game.
Boy, I can't think of it if they have.
I mean, maybe a game in Tampa a few years ago.
So Jonas Johansson, who has yet to play a minute this season, has taken over for Andrei Vasilevskiy, and the Leafs have scored 3 here in the second period to take a 4-1 lead. Well, that puck was on Pacioretty's
Yeah, I mean, it was a dart.
Second.
And like I said, if the one angle we saw on the replay that was closer to what Vasilevskiy would have seen is a brief screen, players crossing in front of him, and that's where when Pacioretty let it go and it found just under the crossbar a short time.
Yeah, didn't give Vasilevskiy any time to kind of position and then look around a body. It was on him.
And probably not expecting a shot from that distance either.
Point shot by the Lightning. Stop. Puck in the slot area. Banged at. Tripped up there was Connor Timmins. The puck in front of the net. Stop. Big save made by Stolarz with the left pad. Timmins trying to come up with it. A wraparound attempt. Stolarz down. Oh, and a big hit there by Benoit. Who was that trying to come out to stuff it in? And Simone Benoit said, not on my watch, it's not. Was that Girgensons?
Yeah, and not really his game to be physical. Former Buffalo Sabre trying to get at Max Domi. But the Leafs were taking the initial penalty, which will be the first power play of the night for Tampa and Washington. But Anthony Stolarz, Joe, again, coming up with two big stops in tight to keep the Leafs up 3 here in the second period.
A lot of chirping going on down there now. And we're going to have a break in the action. We'll sort out the penalty when we come back. Maple Leafs lead 4-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Add some ghoulish grooves to your Monster Mash. With the ultimate Halloween party mix. This is Halloween. The Freaky 50. A spooky selection of songs to make you shudder and dance. Find the Freaky 50 along with many more Halloween specials in the SiriusXM app. Just search Halloween.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Domi gets 4 minutes here, and so the penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Comes as a result here at 10:02.
I was going to say it looks like the Lightning are down a man, but I think Andrei Vasilevsky has gone right to the dressing room. Am I correct? Am I not? He's not on the bench.
I don't know. Right at the blue line? No, that's a forward. Yep, yeah. You're right. Yep.
Okay, Toronto number 74, 2 minutes roughing, removing the Tampa Bay helmet.
All right, so Bobby McMahon is.
Okay.
Now, originally they had. Wow, originally it was a 4-minute penalty to Max Domi. Now it's going to be a 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes.
Second time the Leafs have been 2 men short. They killed it off. It was 1:34 in the opening night against Montreal. So
Craig Berube is shaking his head. They're saying Bobby McMahon removed the helmet of the Tampa player, but doesn't that stuff kind of happen in scrums?
You would think. I know if I was going to be in a fight, and I don't get into them, I'd want the helmet off.
The oppositions. But anyway, huge moment in the game here.
Draw one by Tampa Bay. Hedman working into the near half boards. Looks for Kucherov. Finds him in the slot. Down low into the corner. Back to Kucherov. Working in with a shot. Down is Stolarz. And he covers up on that. One of the Lightning players tried to step in behind, hoping for a loose puck, and he got...
That was Jake Gensel, I think, or was that Brendan Hagel on the far side? Yeah, Gensel was in front. It was Hagel came in looking for a rebound, and Jake McCabe quietly reminded him that he wasn't as welcome as he thought. But Stolarz again coming up with a big stop off Kucherov.
Marner trying to win the faceoff, but fails. Kucherov, a shot went off a leg. Blocked again. Guess who? Chris Tanev, and he's limping. Now on the left wing side, Kucherov into the slot, and a drive whistled wide of the goal. Comes to back of the net, chipped into the corner. Tanev trying to get there. Marner couldn't get it out. Hedman, far side, Kucherov. Kucherov back to Hedman. Hedman on the left wing side. Kucherov, another shot, stopped by Stolarz, and he's got it underneath him.
I hope he was listening to you because he wasn't sure. Stolarz got over from his right to his left to take the one-time attempt away from Nikita Kucherov. And when he got there, he kind of spun and looked back towards the net to make sure the puck wasn't there.
You know, the Leaf dressing room must have an ice machine right in front of Chris Tanev's stall. I mean, he must have to get in it at the end of the game. Just climb in. Everything's hurt, so just climb in.
Remember last year we called Jake McCabe the Scott Sterling of defensemen?
Yes.
You always seem to be taking a high stick or a puck in the face, and you can Google Scott Sterling, soccer goalie, if you're not sure what we're talking about.
Pontus Holmberg wins an important face-off, and Benoit sends it down the ice. Minute 10 to go in the double minors against the Leafs. Brought in over the line now by Point. Gets it back to Kucherov. Kucherov closes back to Hedman, winding and shooting. And Stolarz came out and knocked that into the corner with a good save. Kept alive by the Lightning. Kucherov looking for the puck from Hedman and has it top of the circle. Now onto the left wing side. Back to Kucherov. And that was whistled wide of the net. Point getting, Hagel getting to it. Back to the point to Hedman. To Hagel. Back to Kucherov. A pass to Hagel. A shot. That's knocked down. The rebound. No! Kept out. Holy mackerel. What a save. Anthony Stolarz reaches behind him. The puck's on the goal line. But he gets a glove on it.
And this crowd in Toronto that can be often subdued are on their feet in appreciation of what they've seen from Anthony Stolarz here. 35 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Boy, this just gets to the goal line and looks like it's about to slide over as Jake Gensel tries to stuff it in from a tough angle. And Stolarz dives back and not far below the Johnny Bauer banner. Makes a Bauer-like stop to keep the Leafs up 4-1.
Lightning win the face-off again. Same unit out there for the full 2 minutes, it looks like. Kucherov looking for a drop pass. Gets it. He doesn't shoot it, though. Sends it down low. Gets it back again, far circle. Holding, still with it. Down low. Wrapper on the 10. Stolen! Shot down the ice by the Maple Leafs. 10 seconds left in the two penalties. Kucherov bringing it in over the line. Onto the right wing side. Centering pass. Down is Stolarz to cover up. Penalty over.
And back on the feet. The crowd rises again for Stolarz and the penalty killers doing an outstanding job. But I will say one thing. Tampa Bay Lightning, it's a different look without that big one-time shot from 91.
And Kucherov playing up at the top more than the side boards.
Yeah, he was more top of the right wing circle. Now he's shifted over the top of the left. But he's really replacing where Stamkos used to be, right? Looking for that one-timer.
Yep. Draw one by the Leafs and around back of the net for Ekman Larsson. A lead pass for Robertson. Robertson got it ahead, but Tavares couldn't get around the defense of Nicholas Paul. Puck in the Tampa Bay zone. Off a skate, grabbed off by Robertson. Back to the point. Set in around back of the net. And this crowd is revved up now. It's the old adage about a Toronto audience, show me something and I'll get up. Well, they got shown something pretty special there. Pacioretty in his own zone, ahead for Tavares. Tavares is going to shoot it into the right wing corner to allow a change of players. Robertson will force the puck deep to allow the rest of the unit to be exchanged. 7:10 to go, second period. Long lead pass up on the left wing for Icing. Sharp angle shot deflected off the blocker of Stolarz. and up into the screen and out of play. Joseph Wall is back practicing, but Anthony Stolarz may be setting a little something here that, guess what? I may be the number one guy, and I'd like to run with it.
Well, and the thing is, when you take somebody like Stolarz, who's been a backup his entire career, say how many opportunities has he had like this to take the ball and run with it? As we said, the most he'd ever played in the season was 27 with Anaheim a few years ago.
Lightning win the face-off, get it down into the far corner. Riley unable to get it away. It goes back to the net. And then fed back in by Ekman-Larsson, but Riley couldn't do much with it. The puck goes high, and it's gone so high it's gone into the screen. And out of play.
It's always that Wally Pip reference, isn't there, with Lou Gehrig?
One of the great sports stories of all time. He wasn't feeling well. And guess what? You didn't get back in.
No.
The Iron Horse went on to play.
Lou Gehrig set a major league record for consecutive games played. That's why a lot of times when the money wasn't what it was in professional sports, guys wouldn't come out of the lineup if they were hurt, knowing they didn't want to give somebody else a chance to take their job.
That's right.
There wasn't guaranteed contracts or
guaranteed employment, right? Errant pass by the Lightning is going to go down into the Toronto zone and is going to be called on an icing call.
Bit of a wrestling match between Connor Timmins and Mitchell Chaffee. No penalty called, and the faceoff comes back. Always talk about how penalties usually even out during the course of a game. Happened pretty quick there, didn't it?
So the Maple Leafs kill off a 5-on-3. And maintain their 4-1 lead built in this second period with, to this point, 3 unanswered goals. Geekie back in his own zone. Moser got it ahead. Lightning bring it to the line and in. Pass intercepted by Marner. Spun off the boards. And Nies has a breakaway. He's all alone in a goal. Scores! Two of the Lightning collide and fall at the blue line. And all of a sudden, Matthew Nies is all alone. He's looking for someone. Anyone, please be with me. The heck of an outscorer.
And I believe that's the first shot faced by Jonas Johansson. Second shot, officially. As two Lightning collide at center ice, comedy of errors allows Nies to come in on the left wing side. And this one goes 5-hole as well. So that's 3, isn't it, here in the period that have gone 5-hole? As the Leafs have a new season high for goals in a period.
Second of the season for Matthew Nies. That was almost comical. He found himself alone, but it was like, where is everybody? I need someone here. Lightning get it back in the Toronto end. Back to the point to Hedman. Hedman with a one-timer on the far side by Kucherov that went off a body and went wide. Another blocked shot. And a penalty coming here. Ekman-Larsson was taken down. And is that Gunsel, I believe, is going to the penalty box. And the Leafs are going to get an opportunity to really put the finishing touches on this.
But you know,
period. Marner gets the lone assist, sending it ahead. Rough and call. We'll be back with the power play. The Leafs' third of the game. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
For over 85 years, Rona has been at the heart of all your renovations. Over these 85 years, we've seen you accumulate a ton of dust, from breaking down the drywall to ripping up those floorboards. So, you're probably due for a little cleanup, and we got an offer for you. Until October 20.
What's up, Leafs fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let's see where Leafs Nation is watching tonight here on TSI. Let us know. Put your flag emojis out in the chat as well. Let us know your city and state, city and province in Canada. Let's see how far out our reach goes. Man, it is really hard recording these things when you're not feeling good. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let us know how far we are in this great globe of ours. Let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go!
Face-off coming in the Tampa Bay zone to the right. The Leafs are on the power play.
How about the
down the ice it goes. Stolarz blocks it for Ekman Larsson. 1:14 left in the power play. Oh, a pass stolen by Cirelli at center ice. And Larsson drops his stick. I thought he broke his stick. Just whipped on the pass. Hedman at the left side for Cirelli at center. Gets it across the line. Hagel left circle. Hagel shorthanded. Killing some time. Keeps it alive. Cirelli left circle off his stick. Matthews barrels back to center ice. Matthews cuts across the lightning line. Right point to Nylander. William Nylander, left corner Matthews trying to center for Nies. Knocking it away is Moser. Moser ties up Matthews. Matthews jabs it for Marner, right circle. Across his feet, Nylander does hold it in the left point. Left circle Matthews. Center point Nylander. Shoots, blocked. 28 in the power play. Matthews in the left corner. Left circle Nylander. Fires, blocked in front by Moser. He'll spike this down the ice. It's been a good kill so far for the Lightning, but they're down 5-1 in the second. Another rush, Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly to center. Offside feed, McCabe. Punches it in. McDonough trying to clear. Pacioretty blocks it at the right point. Right corner, Domi. Right point, Rielly. Left circle, McCabe. Penalty is up. Leafs 1 for 3 tonight on the power play. McDonough, steal. And an outlet blocked by Domi. Nice stick there, Domi. Domi holds it in. High slide, Pacioretty shoots. Save made by Johansson. McDonough works it free Gensel. Got to Chafee at center. Back for Jake Gensel. Across the Toronto line. Gensel pulls up in the left circle. Left point McDonough. Shoot, save made. Rebound, Chafee! Oh, he couldn't quite finish as he fell over the goalies who was going wide to his
zone, and it's going to roll into Johansson, who's going to cover up. With 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in what has been a huge second period for the Maple Leafs. 4 unanswered goals to take a 5-1 lead.
And just double checking, but Austin Matthews has had one of his career hat tricks against Jonas Johansson when he was a member of the Colorado Avalanche. And an 8-3 Leaf win in this building. Was back in December the 2nd, 2021.
You have an amazing memory. Or is it Google?
I forget.
I told my son David I was so impressed with you. It's not everyone that can do color.
You realize that you and I could probably kill about 8 hours with a ball of tinfoil too. We're simple Northern Ontario boys.
Simple Simon. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's the truth. Look how shiny it is. Leafs win the faceoff. Benoit circles the goal into the near corner, trying to get it back to the point, and just reverses it down in along the boards. Cut off by Braden Point. He's having difficulties getting out past Bobby McMahon, and it's cleared back into the center ice area. Leafs don't get it out. Kucherov keeping it in. Sharp angle shot went wide, and it's caromed off the inboards and gone all the way down into Tampa Bay territory, forcing Lilleberg back into his own zone. 2:06 to play here in the second period. Bank pass to center. Hagel dumps it in over the line. Cleared back to the blue line and just out over the line to produce an offside and a face-off coming in front of the Tampa Bay bench with a minute 54 to go in the period.
Now you're talking about memories, and I remembered Matthews having the hat trick against Colorado, but I did have to look it up to make sure. And I don't know about you, but if I watch a movie, I've got to stop it about 15 times because I'm going to say, I think that actor was also in another movie, and then I got to stop and look that up.
Look that up, yeah.
For no reason.
And yet, some of the most useless information we have is at our fingertips.
Say it like you mean it.
Yeah, exactly. In over the line for the Leafs, with the puck taken away there at the point, or by the defense of Moser, and the Lightning will get it out at center, but it is turned over at the Leaf blue line. Connor Timmins just lifting it high, looking to try and spring David Camp. He can't. And the Leafs are going to get a change started here as the Lightning get it out, but a pass is out of the reach of its intended receiver and then sprung the other way. Nylander closes in a goal. Oh, and Robertson just was thwarted there at the side of the net. Great opportunity set up by Willing. Kept in then by McCabe. Tavares over to the left wing side to Benoit. Benoit punches it around back of the net. Robertson comes out of the scrum to get it to the point, and the Benoit shot is off the mark wide. Rebound controlled here by Chafee and across the line. Trying to drive the net. Here's Geekie. He did, and it went off his stick and went wide, and now we got a hook.
Yeah, I think this is a legit call as Tampa with a late threat here in the dying seconds of the second period.
2-minute minor for hooking.
And John Tavares is going to go for the hook. We've did a pretty good job of boxing out by McCabe and Benoit. But it was the drive to the net by Connor Geekie that had John Tavares just a step behind and had to put the hook out to be able to get him to pull up.
19:30 the time of the penalty. Leafs just one man short this time, and the intermission will help dissect it as the pass goes over on the far side and now comes back. Hagel a shot. Chris Tanev blocked another one. How many blocked shots has he got tonight?
I think they confirm it with bruises after the game, right?
Yeah, I would think that's an accurate assessment.
They do a body scan.
He must have an MRI done after every game. Shot at the point. That was blocked by Stolarz, but he's got a lot more equipment on it. And it shot out and down the ice. And there's the horn.
The only criticism of Tanev really is rebound control. He gives up. A lot of the rebounds go right back out in front, but he has been as advertised. I mean, as advertised.
Yep.
You knew that's what you were going to get. But also that leads to injuries, and it always seems at every game that he's almost hurt. But fortunately for the Leafs and for Chris Tanev, They get a 5-1 lead after 2.
5 blocked shots at this point for Chris Tanev. It is a 5-1 Toronto lead after 40 minutes. We'll step aside for Anthony Stewart and Jim Taddy. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There's no competition in club soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And the biggest...
What's up, insiders? All right, we're hanging out here. Second intermission. The buds are pouring it on. I am not going to talk much because, as you can tell, I sound like hell. But big shout out to Svetlana for joining as an insider, getting those emojis. I love it. Good Lord. All right. I can't talk, guys. We're going to let the intermission run. I'll let the post-game run as well, like always. Cheers to all of you in the chat. We're having a lot of fun tonight. It's so awesome when the buds are rolling like this. Mark Sherry in the chat. What a period. Absolutely love it. Mike Tompkins from Malaysia. That is awesome. The reach of this Toronto sports community is insane, everybody. Absolutely insane. Thank you all for being here and sharing this link out. That is what makes the best difference, as well as that like button. Hit that like, hit that share. It is, that's how we get this Toronto sports fan club to just throughout the world. I mean, I can't believe we're at 50. I mean, I knew it would happen because I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was going to happen. But man, cheers to all of you. And I don't even have anything to cheers because TSI Allison's got to give me one of those hot toddies there that Mark Duffney was talking about. All right, we're getting back to the intermission. Cheers, everybody. 50K and counting. 75, 100, 1 million. We don't stop. Let's go.
And I found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and see if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Back to the point to Hedman, to Hagel, back to Kucherov, a pass to Hagel, a shot. That's knocked down, the rebound. No! Kept out! Holy mackerel, what a save! Anthony Stolarz reaches behind him. The puck's on the goal line, but he gets a glove on it.
Oh, what a save that was. Leafs 5-1 over Tampa after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five. Buy any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart, live from Scotiabank Arena. Anthony Stolarz actually started the offensive outburst on the power play when he headmanned the puck down the zone into the Tampa zone, and a goal erupts on a power play, and he just stole the period, didn't he?
Yes, well, I think his nickname is Stolarz because he's been stealing a lot of goals. Stolarz, the goalie, but great headmanning pass there to McMahon, who ended up giving it to Nylander. But for me, I think the turning point, the TSN turning point, I'm officially allowed to say that, was that 5-on-3 penalty kill.
Yes.
And what that does when your specialty teams are special and you own that battle, you have those easy wins. And we talked about an 82-game season, you need a couple easy wins. Through 40 minutes, they seem like they're trending their way towards that. But Stolarz has been great. He's come as advertised. Big, calm, cool, collective. He's square to the puck. He's making it just look like a walk in the park, and it's just making it easier for the Toronto Maple Leafs to go off on offense, knowing if they falter a little bit, which they haven't, he's going to be there to stop the puck.
There's so much to unpack here. So the Leafs go up 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. They chase Vasilevsky, and on the next shift off that opening or off that faceoff after that goal, Tampa absolutely floods the Leaf zone, causes all kinds of chaos, and that draws the 5-on-3 right there.
Yeah, it did, and that was probably out of their playbook. Let's try to find a way to change momentum here. But the Leafs have done a pretty good job of staying disciplined. And, I tweeted a little something about that. How do you get 2 minutes for taking the helmet off, but you're able to do that in a fight? But we're not here to debate the rules. But I think for Toronto, again, they've just been playing a routine game, playing above the puck, coming in waves, good puck support, good puck movement. What I've noticed from the D, it's on their stick, up their stick. OEL's been a bully out there. Tanev has been a shot blocking machine as well. But the routine plays are routine. They're starting on time. They're finishing the periods very, very strongly. They're starting to play Craig Berube hockey.
The Nies goal, absolutely, just a sort of an insult to injury type goal if you're a Tampa fan, because two Tampa players cancel their own ticket in the neutral zone, and he goes right in and scores.
Well, that started a couple of minutes before on that 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 that they had, where he just bullied his way through the defense. So he's almost like a bull in a china shop. When you see him coming at you full force, you have no choice but to maybe go on your heels. So I'm not saying, they saw him coming and they got cold feet. No, but they were just aware that, hey, we got to get a proper gap, and the two defenders ended up bumping into each other. But what is more impressive is it's not just him coming in and shooting at 5-hole. He does a little toe drag where he changes the angle of the shot. It's ever so slightly, but if you saw on the replay, the puck goes up and almost around then through the 5-hole. So he has a really, really good scoring touch. He could have had 2-3 that period. His line's been amazing, too, with Austin Matthews with the puck movement, but we're starting to see the evolution of some players, and Nies is high on that list as well.
Yeah, totally agree with the evolution part. So we're talking about from 156 to 1402, which is roughly, 12 minutes of action. There's 4 goals in there that blow this thing wide open, but it's the result of how they played in the first period, too, isn't it?
It is, and the little things, right? Getting pucks deep, chipping pucks in, getting up. They might not seem like big things in the moment, but it just leads to taking away the will from your opponent, and those little details, those small little nuances of the game lead to big things, like getting 3-on-2s, getting 2-on-1s. You saw in the one Nylander goal, a small detail, Bobby McMahon taking a hit to make a play. I haven't seen that play in a while, and that's something that you stress every day in the National Hockey League. He came in, sacrificed his body for a 2-on-1 for Nylander to go and make that play. So it's been fun to watch, and when I run out of adjectives, Tats, I say it's a treat. It's been a very treat to watch it from up top. A really good treat tonight.
You've used all the words. Let's go to the Pacioretty goal, just because it chased Vasilevsky. I mean, that was, just picked the spot, didn't it?
Yeah, and they took a look at it. I don't think it was offside. Maybe with the defender going to the net, did it maybe hit a hand or something like that? But I was caught off guard just how quick that release was. It was almost like a chip shot or a bank shot, whatever it may be. But Pacioretty is used to scoring goals. He's used to scoring goals in bunches. He came in as a rookie with the Montreal Canadiens, scoring 39 goals. So for him, that's what he's brought in to do. I think for him, he's going to be a constant in this lineup. It's going to take a couple weeks. By 10, 12, 15 games, you'll probably see him being a regular. And as expected, I think when he came in here and signed, 20 goals is definitely on his radar.
I'm going to throw 2 stats at you, which one means a lot and the other means absolutely nothing, but it is noteworthy. Tanev has 5 blocked shots, which tells you a lot. In the face-off dot, Tampa is actually 69% and the Leafs 31%. So far, that's been a non-factor.
Yeah, it's been a non-factor, but the one thing for Tanev, what that does is it's contagious. When you have a guy that's sacrificing his body, that's made most of the money already, he doesn't need to be jumping. That just shows, what type of player he is. And the one shot block, it looked like he lunged forward and sacrificed his face there. But that's contagious, where you have a guy that doesn't need to be doing it, laying his body on the line. It rallies up the troops. It rallies up the crowd, and it just creates momentum. The game goes in waves and ups and downs, and the more times that you contain that momentum, it gives you a better chance of winning, and he's a big momentum shifter for this Toronto Maple Leafs team.
So let's end on Stolarz, which is where we started. He stopped all 16 in that period. There were a couple. There was one in the first and one in the second where he was so fast laterally moving that he didn't realize he had the puck in his body. He thought it was past. He looked past him, but he was that fast.
When you're that big and so powerful, he almost has to take a little bit of power off of his T-push, because he could probably T-push from one post to the Molson sign there in the corner in Amazon Prime. But for him, it's just the confidence. He's just gaining confidence. If this is a tough market. Look at the goaltenders over the last 5-6 years to see him perform at a high level. It's creating a competition for if and when Joseph Woll comes back, but Stolarz has done his job and so much more so far for this Leafs team.
Leafs 5-1 over Tampa after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot.
All right, I'm really bad at resting and relaxing insiders. Harold Ballard in the chat. The bunker is bouncing. The bunker is bouncing. It's a good thing that the party is in the bunker at the Loblaws, also known as Maple Leaf Gardens. All right, y'all. Third period. Get ready. Refill the drinks. Let's get crazy. It's time to gift some memberships. Make sure your setting is on to receive memberships. I'm going to give 5 memberships away in probably the beginning to the middle part of the third period. Big third period for the Buds. Let's go. I'm done talking. Good night. William, smoke them if you got them. There you go. Don't smoke or else you end up like this, but I don't smoke anymore. Long time ago. I'm off for a long time. Woo. Cheers, everybody. Back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go.
Maya Spa Village. Engage your senses with an Ofgust ritual. Delight in seasonal flavors with a carefully crafted culinary experience. Relax in a hot bath and soak in the beauty of autumn. Plan your personalized weekday getaway at thermaya.com/Whitby. Take good care.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you, with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-288-4991. That's 1-800-288-4991. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-288-4991. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-288-4991. Ontario license number 4705786.
We all know things tend to break when you need them most, like your furnace breaking down in the middle of a cold snap. That's why Enercare is offering a free furnace checkup for homeowners in the GTA. That's a $99 value. If your furnace has any issues, our Enercare experts can fix it, or we can get you a new one as soon as the next day. Don't get stuck shivering. Keep your home comfortable with Enercare. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enercare.ca.
Enercare. Experts at home.
By Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra or RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. This is the only game in the entire NHL tonight. 5-1 for the Leafs over Tampa after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal. Stolarz has stopped 26 of 27. The Tampa goalies have stopped 14 of 19. 5-1. Third period is next. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Want to hear something scary? Spirits are swirling in the SiriusXM app with creepy Halloween treats. Drift into the dark with Scream Radio. Here's Johnny. Or ride with the devil into Nitro's Halloween Headbangers. Find even more monstrous fun right now on the SiriusXM app. Just search Halloween.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs coming back onto the ice with a 5-1 lead after 2 periods of play. And as big a part of that lead is the full 2-minute double minor the Leafs had to kill off when they were 2 men short. And they have managed to do just that and maintain the advantage, and so they have a substantial lead heading into the third period. The Nies goal, Marner gets the lone primary assist. 2 primary assists already. And in multi-assist games, Marner now with a 110. He eclipsed Daryl Sittler a couple of nights ago, who has 108. And he has set his sights on Boreas Salming now, who has 122 multi-assist games in his career. 3 assists in a game. Sittler did it 36 times in 844 games. Marner has done it 29 times in 580 games. Sometimes you have to just take a look at that stat. It's amazing.
In this era, too.
Yes.
And I mean, certainly this era is changing. Like we said, you see Nikita Kucherov with 100 assists last year. You know, he's just the 5th player ever with 100 assists in a single season. Do you know who the others are? You can probably take a guess.
Or I know that. Yeah.
Bobby Orr was
Connor
one.
McDavid.
Well, he actually did it about a week after Kucherov got his 100s.
Yeah.
The other one's Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. How's that for being part of a great crew?
Pretty great company, eh? Leafs are a man short here to start this third period. Defending the goal down to our right and having difficulties with it. Marner creating havoc in the center ice area, forcing the Lightning back in their own zone. A drop pass to send Point up on the left wing, and Kucherov slides into the left wing corner. Tanev rubbed him out, but it comes to the near boards and back to the point. Hedman over on the left wing side. Drop back again then from Hagel, and a pass across to Hagel. Into the slot. A shot there taken by Hedman. That was blocked by Pontus Holmberg. Leafs can't clear it, and then a bad pass by Hedman goes off Steve Lorentz and down into Tampa Bay territory.
I loved the route Steve Lorentz took to the left point, which was to take away the pass along the blue line, and that's where he was able to knock it down and get it out.
Leafs can't get it out the second time, though. Now here's Hagel down into the left wing boards, getting some assistance there from Gunsel. Gunsel gets it back to the point. 10 seconds left in the power play. Centering pass comes back, and it's going to get right past Kucherov and come to center ice, and the Leafs are going to kill it off. 3 straight penalty kills for the Maple Leafs, including a full 2 minutes of being 2 men short. Pass up on the left wing for Riley. Off the stick of McMahon into the zone. Domi hustles in there after it. Got it along the boards for McMahon. McMahon fanned on a pass back at the blue line, whistles it off the near boards, and it is grabbed off by Tampa Bay and cleared out into neutral ice. In across the line comes Paul. Long shot blocked. Rebound cleared ahead. Nylander with speed down the right wing. And over the line with one man back from a sharp angle. Tried to get it in front of the net for McMahon, who was driving, but it was deflected by the Lightning defense into the corner. Now the Leafs get it out again. Nylander almost tipped that away. If he'd have got it past Littleberg, he was away to the races. Benoit regrouping with Connor Timmins. Simone Benoit carries out on the left wing, got tripped up. Could have been a penalty, I would think. None coming. Brought in over the line by Pacioretty. Into the corner then for Robertson. Stolen. Robertson tried to get it into the slot area but couldn't. And it's out at center ice, and the Leafs have it again. Tavares lost the puck. Brought back into the Toronto zone then by Tampa Bay. Tavares steals it back. Robertson with some skating room on the left wing. Couldn't get it ahead for Pacioretty. And the Lightning have it now with a pass out into the center ice area. Hammered off the boards to just get it in, and Matthews took it away. Jake McCabe for Christopher Tanev. Tanev's pass ahead. Nicely handled with his skates there by Nies, but he couldn't carry on. And it's cleared again out at center ice, and then McCabe stepped into Connor Geekie and sent him sprawling. Left wing side Nies. Up ahead Matthews. Slid into the Tampa Bay zone. Ridden wide there by Chernak. That could have been interference, I think. And the Lightning now will play it back into the Toronto end. Nice, quiet, unassuming third period would be just what the Maple Leafs and Craig Berube would be overjoyed with. 5-1 Toronto.
What happened against LA, they had the 5-0 lead in the third, gave up a couple of goals, which forced Berube to call a timeout and get the team refocused. So you're right. I think there's hoping that they've learned that lesson rather early in the season.
Played back to the point. Benoit shot in traffic. Blockered away by Johansson. And the Lightning get it out into neutral ice. Pontus Holmberg trying to send it in. Had it hit a body. Back on the near boards for David Camp. He'll get it in over the line. Moser plays it off on the left wing, and the defenseman gets the return pass. And now looks up ice to find Kucherov, who got it on the wing for Braden Point, but it's turned over and brought in by Nylander! And the wrist shot was blockered away by Johansson. Willie's got some jump to his step here tonight as a shot whistles off the side of the net there by Ekman Larsson. Here's Nylander into the far corner. Gets it returned by Domi. Nylander around back of the net, centering in front. McMahon couldn't pull the trigger. Back to Nylander, who works back towards the blue line. Far side and into the corner for Domi. Domi into the slot area, and a one-timer by Willie went off the heel of his stick. Domi's shot was blocked. Domi in the corner trying to get it along the boards for McMahon. Domi comes out with it back to the point once more. To Nylander and a one-timer. Ow! That struck Kucherov and he's limping a little bit. And then a hit there sends Gunsel to the ice. And Ekman Larsson is in the middle of it. Now, I am sure that there is no love lost between Ekman Larsson and anybody from Tampa Bay after his tenure in Florida.
Well, he was only there once, but it doesn't take long, or only there for a season. But doesn't take long to figure out what the rivalry is in Florida. And what is the call going to be? And is it only going to be 2? I don't believe there's going to be any roughing calls from the Tampa side. Officials have a brief conversation. There's the call.
Penalty number 95, 2-minute minor for interference.
All right, so it's going to be an interference penalty. By the way, quickly looked up how many career hat tricks Willie Nylander has had, and I was surprised. How many do you think? Just off the top of your head. I was wrong.
3?
1.
Wow.
2017 in Boston against the Bruins.
Wow.
Looking through it. Yeah.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
Isn't that incredible? Player with a hat trick before him earlier in the season was James Van Riemsdyk.
Really?
And actually, it was the year Matthews had 4 goals in his first game in the 16-17 season.
Well, Willie's got a pair tonight and a 5-1 lead. Matthews out with Marner on the penalty kill, brought into the zone, working to the left wing boards. Geekie sent down into the corner, back of the net. Atkinson couldn't come up with it. Cirelli back to the point, onto the left wing side. Geekie with a shot. That deflects and goes high to the near wall, back into the slot area. Moser on the left wing side, centering pass. Back it comes to Moser. Left wing side, a shot. Oh, and a save made by Stolarz that knocked the stick right out of his hands. Back it comes again for Cirelli. Interesting, it's the second unit that starts here for the Tampa Bay Lightning on the power play. Centering pass, a feed in front of the net, and trying to drive there was Atkinson, but he failed to get control of it. Now the Leafs defenseman is in behind his goaltender, Tanev. Another shot, that went off a leg wide. Leafs trying to get to it. Matthews sends it off a stick, and out and down the ice it goes.
I know we're not picking the 3 stars tonight.
I want Tanev in there somehow.
Well,
I'm sorry.
And Stolarz as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Drop pass for Hedman. Hedman gets into the zone. Pass back into the slot area. Trying to get a shot was Hagel. Hedman can't keep it in. It's out at center. Holmberg thought about racing after it, but was out of gas and has gone to the bench, and now 14 seconds left in the penalty. The Leafs penalty kill has been excellent. And across the line, Kucherov. He's knocked down on the play. Rattled around the boards by Benoit. No one there, and down the ice it goes, and the penalty expires.
Kucherov skating past the official, gives him an earful.
Chip back into the Toronto end. Tanev reverses the puck. Riley gets it up on the left wing. Pacioretty ahead for Robertson. Robertson a little stutter step now, trying to drive the net. I thought he could have taken it right to the hoop on the forehand, but he then turned on his backhand, tried to score short side. Robertson left wing side, dropping it back into the slot for Tavares. Shot went wide. Kept in by Morgan Riley. Now to Robertson. Robertson to Riley once more. Riley was going to send it around the boards for Tavares, back of the net. Comes to the left wing side. Chip back to Benoit. Benoit D to D. Here's a shot by Riley. Stop. Big rebound in front of the goal. They're banging away at it. Still free. And a penalty for holding coming against Tampa Bay. Tavares was grabbed.
Is it Lilleberg going to go? Is Tavares in front of the net, hauled down by the Tampa defenseman?
2-minute minor penalty, holding.
And it is Lilleberg who is going to the penalty box. Leafs to the power play for the 5th time. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 and the all-new SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB postseason heroes. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 22nd. Must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make...
What's up, Maple Leafs fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're having a great time in the chat like we do every single time the Maple Leafs hit the ice here on Toronto Sports Insider. Please hit that like button down below. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather. So I'm struggling here to give the regular, come on, let's like. So I need your enthusiasm tonight, Leafs fans. Hit that like button. Let's get more hockey fans here in the chat. As well, please share this link out so we can get it up at the social media boards, the Leafs hockey boards, all of that stuff. Let's get that link out there as much as we can so we can keep growing this awesome Toronto sports community. Cheers to all of you for hanging out with us, as well as the insiders. So many of you that have been here since day one. Love it. Let's get back to the hockey.
Weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs ahead 5-1 and go to the power play for the fourth time in the game.
And the number one unit is in fact out.
Subaru brought the power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Pass in front of the net, knocked away to the near corner. Trying to get it back to Ekman Larsson, but it's going to be cleared all the way down on Stolarz, who is going to play it off now to Ekman Larsson.
That's confidence, isn't it?
Oh,
two Tampa guys coming in on him, and all the players just peel off saying, we're open.
Yep. Pass back in for Matthews, and a backhand is stopped by Johansson. Well, he got robbed of a wonderful assist, Anthony Stolarz did in the second period when he made the quick up, and the Leafs ended up scoring. I think that was on the power play, too. Is that not the power play goal that they scored?
The Matthews goal, yeah. Coming on the rebound.
Draw to the left of Johansson. The Leafs drove Andrei Vasilevsky from the net in the second period. At the point, kept in by Ekman Larsson, around to the far side for Matthews. Got away from one man. Still with it, saucered into the corner. Centering pass by Marner, though, was intercepted, and it is shot down the ice. Oliver Ekman Larsson back in his own zone. Waits for Marner and Nylander to come back. Now Willie starts through center. Nylander to the line and in on the right side. Marner a centering pass. Tavares a shot. And sprawling to block that was Moser. Puck comes back to the blue line. Ekman Larsson to Nylander. Nylander back to Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson down into the corner. Centering pass goes to Tavares. To Nylander. Closing. And he was looking for the hat trick there, but he set it over top of the goal. Ekman Larsson to Nylander at the far point. Settles things down. Returns the favor. Into the corner it comes to Marner. Coming right out. Oh, and he shot it high and wide of the goal. Matthews steals it back. Marner with it again. Off a stick. And it's going to come to center ice. Marner quickly brings it right back in again. On the wing to Willie. Back for Marner. In a goal. Tried to play it in front. Tavares holds, shoots, and he fired it wide. Far corner for Matthews. Matthews down low, back of the net. Centers back to the point. It comes to Morgan Rielly. Rielly holding. Leafs are changing. Here's Rielly on the wing for Marner. Back it goes to Willie. Willie goes to the right wing corner with a shot that was stopped. Back of the net now with it. Penalty is over as it comes back, and it is shot high and wide of the goal. Leafs continue to press here. Nylander back of the net. He's been on for an hour. Back to the point it goes to Rielly. Rielly holds. Willie going to the bench as the deflection by McMahon goes wide. Leafs after the rebound. Cleared to the line and out. And they'll have to go back to center to get it. Nies, great move, splits the defense, and a goal! And that was stopped by Johansson. The rebound controlled by Tampa and sent down the ice.
Well, and that was a better move than the break he scored on in the second period.
Played down into the Tampa Bay zone. Barging in there. McMahon trying to center. That went into the corner. Domi hustles after it as it's cleared away from him. And out come the Lightning with a pass that Nies gets his stick in the way of and breaks up the rush. Simon Benoit at the red line. Into the zone it goes, and off to the bench he goes. Down the wall comes Timmins. Back of the net. Wraparound attempt by Holmberg was blocked. Timmins taken to the boards. Another hit along the wall by Pacioretty. Ekman Larsson far side. Back into the corner looking for Robertson. Robertson comes out of the scrum with a shot. That deflected off a body and went wide. And it's cleared to the line, but not out. Robertson got there quickly. Nick Robertson, little fake. Robertson with another move, and then he abandoned the shot completely as he stepped around one more defenseman, but the Leafs continue to press. Centering pass, a shot. That was stopped. Robertson robbed. Kept alive by Pacioretty. Left wing side. This is as dominant as you're going to see. Robertson against the boards trying to keep it in. Pacioretty does with the assistance of McCabe, and finally the Lightning are going to get it out. Point sends it to the Leaf blue line. What a shift.
The best part
three
of this.
shifts.
Yep, but a 5-1 lead into the third period. And they're out shooting. Tampa 9-2.
Played down into the Lightning zone. Geekie got it ahead, brought on by Cirelli through center. Cirelli back for Geekie, and he shot it high and wide of the net. Leafs battle for it back to the goal. Geekie has it taken away by Morgan Riley. Bank pass comes out at center, but it'll be too far for Bobby McMahon. And McDonough is back in his own zone. Got it ahead for Chernik. And McDonough and he are going to play catch with it with 6:27 left to play here in the period. Knife down into the Toronto zone. Bouncing puck cleared in front, and a wrist shot taken there by Atkinson went wide of the Toronto net. 29 shots apiece at this point, but the Leafs had to make up some ground, didn't they?
That's what I mean. I mean, you would think that this is generally the...
Now we've got Domi dropping the gloves here with Girgensons. And Girgensons and Domi going at it, but down on the ice. And Domi getting a couple in there for good measure after the fact.
I think Girgensons hurt. As Max Domi, I thought he caught him. And Girgensons went down. Got a great reaction from the crowd, and this might stem back to what happened in the second period, which led to the 5-on-3 for Tampa. But boy, Max Domi landed a few, and from Girgenson's standpoint, hopefully he's all right.
Well, they will sort things out. Both players to the penalty box. Each 5 for fighting. And we will step aside. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sam had aspirations of opening a clothing boutique. She called Alpine Credits and was sent a speedy superhero to help with a business loan. Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The Toronto Maple Leafs fan that's hanging out with us listening to the Lightning and the Leafs tonight, and everybody else that has been here as an insider for so long. Thank you for helping us reach 50,000. Of course, it would happen when I'm sick and under the weather, but, you know, it is what it is. We keep pushing forward. We're live tonight. We're live tomorrow night. We're live for opening night of the Raptors as well. And we're getting ready for the World Series. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell, and we'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go, Leafs. Let's finish this one strong.
today.
Craig. Craig likes it warm. Craig loves 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Craig doesn't understand Fahrenheit. But Craig does like to save money when he's at work. Craig also cares about his carbon footprint. He's so thoughtful, that Craig.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $1,000 in bill credits and apply for up to $3,000 in rebates. Learn more at EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
5:55 to play, third period. Maple Leafs with a 5-1 lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Major penalties to Girgensons and Domi.
Yeah, Domi also gets a roughing minor. And probably it looked like Max was a little more willing than Girgensons to drop the gloves. So this is one of those cases, Joe, where they kind of disguise the instigator as a roughing penalty.
Nick Robertson is serving the minor penalty. So this is the fifth power play opportunity now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Brought in over the line now by Point. Dropped for Hedman. Hedman off on the left wing side. Gets it back again for a shot that Stolarz is able to cover up on. And the penalty kill is brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
Now, if this was to go to court and Max Domi, so he doesn't get the instigator, he gets a roughing penalty. Did the roughing penalty not instigate the fight? Did that not start the whole thing? Was the roughing penalty?
You're looking at me like I'm smart enough to be a lawyer.
I just want you to tell me I'm right. I want you to be dumb enough to say that I'm right.
No, I'm not that stupid. No, I'll reserve judgment. How's that?
All right.
Good point, though. It's a great argument. Here's Hedman walking down, pass onto the wing, a centering pass, and they score. Anthony Cirelli got a nice pass.
Yeah, it was to Braden Point. It was wide open.
And Point will make it a 5-2 hockey game.
And you know, since the start of the 22-23 season, only 3 players have more goals in the NHL than Braden Point. And during that stretch, that's his 100th goal since the start of the 22-23 season. David Pastrnak and Austin Matthews have 112. And he Rantanen 101 points.
Kucherov from his more familiar bumper spot on the right wing sets that up. And Point scores the goal, his third goal of the season, and his power play, that is his second power play goal of the season.
Pardon me, Mikko Rantanen. I think it said Antti Rantanen, the goalie. Yeah, Mikko Rantanen.
4:55 to play in the third period. Tavares trying to win the face-off, and waved out is Nicholas Paul. The draw scrum, but won by Tampa Bay, and a wrist shot doesn't make it through. That was blocked by Morgan Riley. Now cleared down the ice, and a foot race here that is won by Robertson to deny icing, but the Lightning have the puck. Played around back of the net. Hedman getting the other assist on the goal to make it 5-2. Lightning bring it in over the line. Chafee gets it into the slot, and a shot pad save, and a good one made there by Stolarz. And Benoit carried down into the corner, couldn't make a pass. And now as the puck comes free, Bobby McMahon just plays it to open ice on the right wing. He's going to race after it. Bobby McMahon gets around his man, cuts in with a shot, and he fired it wide. Great hustle there by McMahon.
I think his speed is underrated. I mean, he just throws it up the right wing boards and chases after it.
And beat his man, who had a head start. Lightning back in their own end. Play it in over the line. Centering pass comes back to the left wing. Back into the corner for Geekie. Back of the net now, trying to center Cirelli into the slot. A one-timer rolled wide of the Toronto goal. Penalty coming up here. And it's going to be against the Maple Leafs. And is it Chris Tanev for holding? So the Lightning will go to their 6th power play.
Toronto penalty number 8, 2-minute minor for holding the stick.
Well, that's usually an automatic if they caught it.
And they did. It is a break here with 3:29 to play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
A Monday Night Football doubleheader in Sirius XM NFL Radio has you covered. At 8:15 Eastern, the Ravens look to keep it rolling against the Bucs in Tampa Bay, followed by the Chargers and Cardinals at 9 Eastern from Arizona. Catch all the action.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
To the right of Anthony Stolarz. And they're going with, 6 attackers.
Why wouldn't you, right?
Yep, cleared out and down the ice, but not far enough to get to the goal. And so going back is Hedman. Hedman carries to center and to the line. Hedman flips it in on the left wing. Centering pass to the side of the goal. Blockered away there by Stolarz. Grabbed off by Marner, backhanded, and cut off by Hedman in the center ice area. Hedman to the near side. Kucherov drops it back for Point. Point brings it to center. Laid it into the corner. In against the boards there was Benoit. Centering pass. Matthews got it ahead. Marner couldn't control the puck in the neutral zone to get a chance at the empty net. Now Kucherov back in over the line. A pass into the slot area. Shot. Big save made by Stolarz. And it's cleared into the corner. Hey, we've had one goalie goal scored this year. Maybe we get another. Kucherov has the puck, goes into the corner. Chopped at and rung around the boards, but Kucherov is going to keep it in. Kucherov down low. Getting it back. The Leafs didn't get a chance to change penalty killers. Now they won't either as Marner has to stay on. They got one exchange. Back to the point. Off on the near boards for Kucherov. Kucherov holds back to the blue line. Gensel's stick got knocked right out of his hands by someone. Cleared back to the near boards with 1:58 to go. 27 in the penalty. Back to Kucherov again. Cross ice pass. Hagel back to Hedman. Hedman holding. Looking in the near side. Kucherov couldn't come up with it cleanly. Stolen almost by Matthews. He can't get it out though. Played off on the left wing side. Back to the point again. Broken stick. Matthews blocks it, and it's out at center ice.
Boy, Matthews and Marner both out for the entirety.
And then the Leafs with a long shot there by Pontus Holmberg, and it went over the net. Centering pass, they'll score!
No goal.
No, they're waving it off. Pontus Holmberg.
They're going to say it was a hand pass. Holmberg is denying that there was any wrongdoing.
Yes, it was a close pass.
Gonna have to see this again, aren't we?
Look at the video to see. No. He's got the shot block, but Matthews and Marner out for the entire 2 minutes. The time short. Here we go. It was Lorentz. Lorentz dropped it and played it.
Yeah. Lorentz dropped it off his glove. Now, can the Leafs
I know you can challenge if they missed the hand pass. I don't know if you can challenge when they've waved it off. I mean, the whistle did not go before the puck was in the net. I mean, it's a blown call. Not that it's going to matter, but Holmberg is saying to the officials, look, did you not see the video?
And Craig Berube's pleading his case on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, the official probably wasn't in the best position. He might have had his view blocked. But if this is the worst thing that happens this year, I think Craig Berube and the Leafs will take it. But it should be 6-2, and Holmberg should have his first of the season.
Yep.
And Steven Lorentz should have his third point.
No kidding. Cleared out at center. The goaltender is back in the net. Those still in the seats, a lot heading for the exits with the lead, are upset with the officiating again as we get an icing call coming here against Toronto. Minute 3 to go in the third period. The Leafs trying to put this one to bed.
Let's put it this way. If it was a one-goal game, and that was missed, you might feel a little more incensed about it.
No kidding.
Well, can you imagine you do that and then the team comes back and ties it at the other end?
Yeah. Draw one by the Maple Leafs. And it is launched out into the center ice area. And pass by David Camp, knocked away. Lorenz going to the bench. As the Lightning send it high over top of the goal into the Leaf zone. Round on the far side for Tavares. Poked out at center ice. Brought right back in again by the Lightning. Interesting maybe here that Nylander's not on the ice. The Tavares line with Robertson and
yeah, I think it's about getting Nick
Pacioretty.
Robertson maybe some more ice time.
Tavares can't get it out as it goes back of the goal. Centering effort, tied up. 10 seconds left in this one. And the Leafs are going to go to their 4th win of the season against 2 losses. Extra shoving on the far side. Icing is in the middle of it. And so is Jake McCabe. He's got his gloves off and is throwing some punches here. And so things have heated up dramatically. Lilleberg is in the middle of it. Benoit's been taken down. Lilleberg throwing punches. And this presses on just a little bit more.
Somebody down there is being pretty vocal. I don't know whether it's the referee or maybe Connor Geekie screaming at somebody.
Pacioretty and Geekie having a little bit of a chuckle at this.
When's the last time we've seen a Leaf team engage physically as much as we've seen the start of this season? Like we said, it's that fine mix and getting that offense that they've had over the last few years clicking with the heavier, stronger defensive play. And even though I don't know if a lot of the goals that the Leafs were able to score tonight would go on any highlight reel, you need a whole lot of ugly goals to have success in the postseason. And the Leafs, more physical team in this one, end it in a physical manner.
They open the game up with a 4-goal second period and take a 5-1 lead into the third. They surrender a power play goal, but that is all she wrote as the Tampa Bay Lightning go down by a score of 5-2. We will be back with you on, tomorrow night when the Columbus Blue Jackets entertain the Maple Leafs. 7:30 start. We'll have that action for you, and we hope that you will join us then. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart coming along with the post-game show as the Leafs win this one 5-2. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
If it's happening in baseball,
Ball game over. American League Championship Series over. Yankees win.
It's on MLB Network Radio.
Here with Aaron Judge right now.
Punch our ticket to the World Series. It's just unbelievable. So proud of these guys.
Aaron Boone's with me now.
I'm very emotional. I'm just so proud of these guys.
Standing with Juan Soto, the hero of this game.
It's the best feeling you can ever feel, you know?
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kucherov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, you know, we're looking forward to getting started and see if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
They open the game up with a 4-goal second period and take a 5-1 lead into the third. They surrender a power play goal, but that is all she wrote as the Tampa Bay Lightning go down by a score of 5-2.
Joe Bowen with the final moments of tonight's Maple Leaf victory. 5-2, should have been 6-2. They got stiffed for a 6th goal. What a night it was. Welcome to the post-game show, Leafs Game Night, live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart, and Jimmy Ralph, kind enough to hang around. And Ralphie, I mean, that was an interesting game from every Maple Leaf, but I'm going to start with Stolarz, who was fantastic.
Yeah, there were so many moments the game could have turned.
Oh.
And obviously the 5-on-3 was huge for Tampa. Now, I will say this. It's not the same power play without 91. I mean, it's a different look. We did see in the third period Kucherov move back over to the right side, but doesn't seem to be as dangerous at the top of the left wing circle as he did on the right side. But Anthony Stolarz, there are so many saves that he made which were old school goaltending, where whether it was moving or diving or sliding. I mean, it was it sort of looked like a the 70s hockey card collection, where the guy's doing the splits and has a glove up in the air making the save.
The pose save.
But he's been very impressive. And I mean, you would love to get Joe Wall back. There's a chance he could play tomorrow. But to be able to get them back and to have that kind of depth in goaltending, Hildeby was great in his start in New Jersey. But I just think, and we've said this from the start, I felt more comfortable early on this season for the Leafs goaltending than I have since maybe going back to, with all due respect, to James Reimer and Freddie Anderson, but maybe going back to the Ed Belfour era.
Huh. Yeah, staying on Stolarz, it's one thing to look at the numbers, which have been tremendous since he's been here in Toronto, but just the sense of calmness that's not necessarily on the stat sheet. Watching from up top, how does it feel different with him between the pipes?
Yeah, there's just he doesn't seem to get caught out of position, And God love Ilya Samsonov, and he had some wonderful moments for the Leafs, but there would be games that early on there'd be a point shot or something that he didn't track, he didn't see it. He was out of position. He was diving, and I think that goes through the team where you're thinking, "Oh no, we've either got to adapt the run and gun offense and win this thing 6-5, or we've got to pray that we got three guys that can, even if we're going to screen him, but try to block the shot before he gets to him." But you're right. I'm impressed for a big goaltender how well he goes post to post. Usually you sacrifice a little bit from size to agility, and he's been outstanding in doing that. And Stu, you're right. There's just this calmness, and the players feed off that. And sort of the quirky stat about his start as a Maple Leaf is his goals against average is actually better in losses than it is in wins, because he's only given up 3 goals in the 2 losses to the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens.
I think the big word is confidence, not only in his play, but in everybody around him, and he projects that. You're talking about the side-to-side move. There were a couple of plays tonight where he got over there so fast, I don't think he realized he was there, and he was looking behind him, but he had the puck.
Yeah, there was one on Kucherov in the 5-on-3 when he had to go from his right to his left, and stopped the one-timer, sort of spun around. And believe me, as a goaltender, when you spin around and you look for the puck behind you, you hope you don't see it.
It was a great performance. I mean, they came out flying. They physically manhandled Tampa and were able to withstand everything that Tampa threw at them after the talking about the 5-on-3 after Vasilevsky got pulled. They must have got a stern talking to at the bench, because they came flying at the Leafs, and the Leafs weathered that storm.
Yeah, although at one point in the third, before the Max Domi took the penalty, the Leafs were shooting them 9-2 to start the third. So it was really maybe the over-aggression from a Leaf standpoint that turned it a little bit in Tampa's favor at the end. But I like the fact, and pretty much every game, and that's including the losses to the Rangers and Montreal, you never felt like they were out of it, that they were being outplayed, that they were being outworked. And
there's no quit.
Yeah, and we talked about this afternoon when I went on your show, that you look at the first 2 or 3 games and say, okay, now this is the eye test, but Craig Berube wants them to play a certain way. Are we just seeing it that way because that's the goal? And at this point, you're saying no. They are more physical. They are tougher. What Chris Tanev brings to the lineup, blocking shots, it's hard to believe he's not going to miss 10 to 12 games at some point, being injured, blocking a shot. But it just seems that it's team toughness. It's not about just Ryan Reeves being your tough guy that you can put in the lineup. This is a team toughness thing where guys are sticking up for each other and been very aggressive on the forecheck.
In an 82-game season, you need a couple easy wins, and it seems like the power play and specialty teams sort of got them through the game tonight. Talk about how important their power play was in getting those goals.
Well, I mean, especially because the only other game they scored in the power play was against Los Angeles in that blowout when they got 2 of them. So, Nylander scores to make it 3-1. So if you take that away, you're sitting at 2-1. Now you got to kill a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes, and the game is hanging in the balance. So Absolutely. You hate giving up the power play goal to point late in the third period, but you can see things are starting to come. And I do love the fact. I told Stewie, don't use this. I'm going to save it for postgame. 4 of the 5 goals were 5-hole. And the 5th one was Max Pacioretty from long range. So they weren't exactly these goals aren't going to go on the scoreboard as the next pump-up video. But you love it, and I know we've talked about this before. We talked about it, I think, after the New Jersey game. This is how you win playoff series. You score the ugly goals. You throw it to the net. I love seeing Austin Matthews a foot off the top of the crease to jam home a rebound instead of everybody staying to the outside. I think, if you get, when you start to talk about playing heavier and net front presence and winning one-on-one battles, we're seeing it, and the reward is some ugly goals.
Some of the battles were interesting. Gensel just hits OEL in the face for no apparent reason. And then in the third period, OEL just absolutely wipes him out. And in the dying seconds, Stolarz just flicked Gensel's stick right almost into the crowd. I mean, it was interesting. And then, of course, the skirmish as the whistle goes to end the game. There was some really heated stuff out there.
That's old-time hockey, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's something that Stewie would have been in the middle of.
I was here for Wafflegate. That was my.
You were here for that?
Oh, yeah, it almost hit me. Yeah, it almost hit me and Kessel. That was right in that corner down there, was it not? No, it was over there by the points bet sign. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a time! What a time to be alive.
Wafflegate. Let me ask you this: does this performance put them into a different category? Because it's you can see the build now, and based on how they played tonight, boy, it's early in the season, but if they could do that for a stretch of games, look out.
Yeah, I mean, I would even combine the games, the Ranger game and this one. I mean, the Rangers won the President's Trophy last year. If not for, the goaltending of Shesterkin, the Leafs deserved at least a point out of that. But you're saying, okay, if this was the best team in the league last year, they weren't outclassed. I mean, they, probably deserved a better fate than they had. So even, you're looking at games that they've lost this year, the other one being the 47-shot shadow performance by Montembeault in Montreal. You're saying you've liked how they've matched up against teams that they should be better than and against teams that you might be competing with in a playoff series. So I think there's a lot of good. This is sort of to me, another step in the right direction. As Stewie was saying, special teams played a huge role in this one, and that might have played a huge role in the 2 games that they lost on a negative side. So to me, it's another step forward, and fans are starting to fall in love with some of the newer players, whether it's Tanev or the goaltender of Stolarz.
Max Pacioretty scored his second of the season after sitting a couple games. Do you see him being a constant in the lineup going forward? And we were talking off air about breaking down his goal there too. It was a great shot, mind you, but just that traffic, and Berube was big on having his players get in front of the goaltender's face. And just talk about that goal, and some of the listeners and viewers might not know.
Yeah, it was sort of a sneaky one. It was well above the top of the left wing circle. Coming in, I still think there was a little crisscross in front of him, 2 players, and Pacioretty. No, I know I didn't expect him just to fire it from there. It was basically on his stick for a split second, and threw it to the net. Maybe some good fortune because of the screen, but again, the difference in philosophy and mentality with Craig Berube behind the bench, where he kept saying, and I think even it started with the Montreal game. He said, we've got to get more people in front. We've got to make it more difficult. And, not to take anything away from a goaltender that stops 47 shots, but he said we need to do more of this. And I think as each game has gone on, we've seen that. I mean, we really haven't seen one of those goals where you went, oh, my God, that was beautiful. We're seeing a lot more. I remember the game in New Jersey, the 3 goals in the first period were all bouncing pucks and redirections ugly and goals, rebounds and ugly goals. So, you do that, and you've still got the ability to pass the puck into the net, as Pat Quinn used to say. I think it's good. But it all starts with the goaltending. And, not allowing the other team to gain any kind of momentum or give up that kind of goal that your bench is just going to go, oh no, and sag a little bit. And I thought we saw that a little bit with Tampa, that some of the goals were a little bit iffy, not characteristic of Vasilevsky, and you could see there seemed to take some energy out of the bench.
We could go on for hours. I mean, literally everybody who played for the Leafs tonight is worth some sort of a comment. The guy who jumped off the page for me was Nies. I thought he was terrific tonight. Could have had 2-3 goals.
Yeah, actually, the opportunity he had in the third period was a better move than the goal he scored in the second, where he split the defense and came in and made a great move forehand, backhand. I still believe a big part of his game, even though we saw some chances off the rush, I know I keep saying it, when you look at Zach Hyman in Edmonton, he's a big body, strong, works hard, can be physical, but you go to the front of the net, and, Zach Hyman, 50 goals last year, and probably the average distance was 3.5 feet, but and that's not taking that. It's a huge compliment. But you're playing with skilled players, and you bulldoze your way to the front of the net, and you look for those kind of goals. And I'm not saying that Nies is going to be a 50 goal scorer this year, but boy, playing with Matthews and Marner, 25 to 30 to me is very attainable.
Yeah, and I think for him, it's just he plays that playoff style hockey, right? There's going to be times in the season where Berube is going to look at somebody. We need to play like that, and I think that's going to be Nies. And I think his true value to this group is going to be most importantly in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know who else do I put in that category? Bobby McMahon.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. and I know even last year in the playoffs, so much was made, and rightfully so. Nylander missed some time against Boston in that series. Matthews missed some time. Bobby McMahon missed the series. And to me, he is one of those guys that is built for the postseason. A straight-line guy. And we saw play tonight, and Joe and I talked about it on the air. His speed is underrated. For a big guy, the explosive 2 to 3 strides to start. Remember, he just chipped it up the right wing boards, and he just blew past the defenseman, picking it up and taking it to the net. So, yeah, I'd when you get guys that are big and heavy and can drive the net the way they can, it's huge. And then you've got the skilled guys that can find other ways to find the back of the net.
Ralphie, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
I've got about a minute and a half more of knowledge. Can I save it?
You may need it for the drive home.
Call in on the drive home. We'll pick up.
I'll text you.
If you were doing public transit, I'd take it, but you're driving.
I'll text you when I get there. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks. Jim Ralph, 5-2, the final score. So I have to ask the question, Stu, have you seen him play like this before?
I haven't, and I think for the main thing that stands out for me is just the consistency and the waves, and just line after line, shift after shift, putting everything together. And again, there's been a lot of incomplete games where Leafs have dominated, and that was the narrative last year. We've played great for 50 minutes, and there's that 10 minutes that lets them down at the end of the game. But, in all their wins pretty much this season, there's been not a point in the game. Yeah, they may let some goals, and there may be some breakdowns here and there, some adversity. You saw Benoit, sliding head first with the puck going in with him, that the game wasn't in question. After that second period, you knew they were probably going to cruise to a win. You saw them get that penalty kill, power play goal, Tampa Bay in the third period. But just that consistency, and Craig Berube not being afraid to throw out the fourth line for a D-zone faceoff. So it's just all these just different waves that's coming through at you. It's the makings of a team. And that was some of the conversations last year talking about this group. Where's that fight? Where's that jump? And it just seems every scrum, everyone's in there to a man. It's not necessarily about dropping the gloves. It's just they're sticking up for one another. Stolarz getting involved in the mix as well, too. We talk about in hockey a club versus a team. And this year, it feels like this is more so a team where they're coming in and sticking up for each other as well.
So the fourth line's out there with an empty net. In the past, you may have seen Nylander out there so he can get his hat trick, right? That's a normal thing.
And Ralphie, before he gave me his autograph, gave me a stat that Nylander only had one career hat trick. So I'm surprised that he wasn't out there too. But, as we discussed in the pregame show, it's different. Everyone's got their contracts. They got their long term. They're getting paid. They got their signing bonuses. I think for this group, it's about winning. Marner, whether he gets 85 or 95 points, I don't really think that really affects his cap hit. And I know we're getting into the cap talk here right now, but this group right now, what's more important for them is legacy. And we saw Matt Sundin, he didn't win any Stanley Cups here, but he gave his all every single night. He personified the city of Toronto, and he is a legend. So I think for these guys now, they go and they do what they need to do and ultimately win. A lot of them now won't have to buy a coffee or a root beer in Toronto.
And that goes on forever, right?
Forever.
Yeah.
I do all these events with Wendell Clark and Darcy Tucker, Al Iafrate, and these guys are legends. People love them. And it's not about winning. It's coming in and doing your best for the city and performing and really personifying that. And they're starting to do that.
5-2, the Leafs win over Tampa. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of debt. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Not sure what to get the young people on your list? The latest phone, sneakers, video games? Get the one thing they need now more than ever. Give their feelings a place to go. When you donate to Kids Help Phone, you're giving the young people in your life and across the country access to free 24/7 judgment-free support. Because at the end of the day, it's their thoughts that count. Donate at kidshelpphone.ca. And together, we can give their feelings a place to go.
Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. So let's go to one of the turning points in the hockey game. It's 4-1 for the Leafs as Vasilevsky is pulled. Stern words from Cooper at the Tampa bench, and then Tampa throws everything at the Leafs, and they draw the Leafs into a 5-on-3 situation, and then Stolarz takes over. Just enormous saves, and the crowd went absolutely nuts with support for him, raised the roof, and here is the goaltender Stolarz on those sequence of saves.
Yeah, I made the save and it kind of just went to the side of the net, and Benny did a really good job getting his stick, not allowing him to kind of get that easy tap in, and it's kind of just desperation mode from there and just try to keep it out of the net.
Crowd giving you love in that moment. What's it feel like for you?
It's exciting. I think, kind of swings momentum our way. Obviously, they have a 5-on-3 with an opportunity to kind of swing and change things, and, by the crowd, I think, getting into it, I kind of think it shattered them a little bit, and just allowed us to kill it off.
How do you move on from a goal where Simon Benoit basically kicks it into your own net early on in the game to then go on to play the way you did?
You just don't even think about it. It's, part of the game. It's going to happen. Benny's just trying, make an effort there, and it's just one of those things where shit happens, and it is what it is. But as a goalie, you just kind of forget it and just worry about the next shot.
This is more than you played in condensed time into the NHL. What's allowed you to excel like you have in these 5 games?
Just confidence and just having that routine day in and day out, working with Curtis on a lot of things on our practice days, getting my rest, taking care of my body, and just making sure that I make the most of this opportunity.
Going back to when you signed with Florida a year ago, did you think then that the next 14 months would turn out the way they have for you?
It's been pretty fun 14 months, but no, at the end of the day, I just try to live in the moment and just try to enjoy each and every day. It's a privilege to play in this league, and we have such a good group here that it makes it a lot of fun to come to the rink every day, and you can obviously see the skill, the talent here, and our mission is to do a lot of big things this year, and I think games like tonight are a nice stepping stone in the right direction.
You saw last one here, guys.
Will Nylander from afar as an opponent. What stands out to you about him as a teammate?
I just think his poise, his confidence with the puck. He can absolutely fire a puck, and he's just so smart in practice. He's always pushing and pulling it, and it's just a tough release to read, and I'm kind of happy he's on my side now.
Anthony Stolarz, after the 5-2 win, he was stupendous tonight. There's no question about that, and he says he's confident, and he projects that, doesn't he?
He does, and stuff happens, and you can see his confidence, and we forgot to bleep it there, but that's neither here nor there. But, you know, I hate talking about years past, but it's a 4-1 game. They're going in on a 5-on-3. We're thinking, here we go. They're getting back into the game. It's time for the counter punch by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he found a way to kill that penalty essentially by himself. He made 3 or 4 scrolling across the crease, just fronting the shots on the one-timer. The one, I believe, was Goaltending that almost tapped in on the post there. But just his size, and it's intimidating as a shooter where you're like, you got to pick the pocket and just try to make that perfect shot. And when you have to make a perfect shot in a goaltender, it throws you off as opposed to just trying to get that quick release. So he's definitely in some shooters' heads. And, you know, you heard the media mention, this is the most he's played in a condensed period of time, but he is embracing the moment. He's got the confidence. He's got the swagger. And that's what happens when you win a Stanley Cup. And Paul Maurice had that group believing that they can do anything because they were down and out some series and they weren't playing well, but they found a way. So when you have that, that adversity of winning a Stanley Cup and you come back for that, you feel like you are a superstar, and that's how he's playing and performing for the Maple Leafs early in the season.
So is that one question about the goal that Tampa got? Paul ties it at 1 late in the first period that Stolarz makes a really good save on. The rebound goes to Benoit, who had blown the tire, and he carries it into the net. But after that, you could see Stolarz go over to him and say, don't worry about it. Like he gave him a tap and don't worry about it. Yeah, there's ups and downs, and we talk about Craig Berube's system, and they're starting to believe. So when you believe, there's going to be adversity. There's going to be goals that are called back. There's going to be penalties for grabbing a guy's helmet off, and it's not the storyline of the game. Could you imagine? It's a 3-2 game, and they take back that goal that could wreck teams in years past. So the fact that regardless of the adversity, they're just going to they're absorbing the mentality of the coach where you're going to bend, but you're not going to break. So it's a small sample size, but watching it in the crowd where you're here and you can absorb the energy, it's very, very positive so far for the Maple Leafs. So, I mean, they're playing with a resiliency they haven't before, right? 100%. 100%. And, you know, we've seen it where a goaltender lets 2 goals in 5 shots, or if the power play has been going cold, it is a main storyline. We've heard storylines with, you know, some of the injuries of the past, if it's going to affect the whole entire season. But it just seems that the outside noise is exactly what it is, outside noise. And that starts with Craig Berube, where he tells the media exactly what he feels they need to hear. He's not giving these big soliloquy speeches. He's not, giving you haiku poems. He's just coming in, telling you how it is. What's going on with the goaltending? Yeah, you know what? They're playing well. What's going on with Pacioretty? Yeah, he's got to be better. So, again, it's just that soldier-on mentality. We are the sum of our parts. Yes, we have some superstars, but we have guys that are willing to get in and waiting their turn. We are a team. And it's tough to say that when you have this many superstars, but that's that mentality that he's now. It's getting, it's catching on to this group, and it's starting to show so far. Coach's comments brought to you by Honda. Score $1,500 Honda bonus. Let's do that again. Score $1,500 Honda bonus on the CRV LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com for further details. Here's Coach Berube and what he's seen from Stolarz.
Nothing different, to be honest with you. I had him as a young kid in Philly, and he's been in the NHL for some time now. Obviously a quality goalie. He had a great year last year in Florida. If you look at his numbers, played 29, 30 games. He's played excellent for us. That's what I know about him.
You don't know what's going to happen with the goaltending here, but if he were in a position where he'd have to play, a lot of games this year, do you have the confidence in him seeing what he's done?
I said at the beginning of the year, both goalies are going to see more net than they have in the past. I'll just leave it at that.
To make the Willie's night tonight, they got a lot of chances this year.
Yeah, he's same as last game. We have 8 shots last game. I didn't look at the shot sheet yet for what he had tonight, but he had a ton of opportunities again. Skating really well, strong on pucks, getting to open ice, and he's looking to shoot.
The defensive side, maybe when he's there, does that push his offense when he's fighting for the puck?
He's been strong defensively and in good position, and he broke some plays up tonight with his stick, so he had some good stick detail and got opportunities the other way.
Why do you think Matt Nies has been able to elevate his game so quickly this season?
Well, he's got some NHL experience under his belt for sure, and then I think this summer he put in a lot of work and trained. He's gotten a lot stronger in my opinion. I wasn't here last year, but this guy's strong and he's skating really well and he's attacking. Like, he's playing like a power forward, and that's got to be his game, and that's what he's doing right now.
What do you think of Nick Robertson through 6 games here?
I think that Nicky's put himself in some real good spots to put the puck in the net and just kind of miss a little bit. Like, puck bouncing on him a little bit or just not clean enough. But, he's working and he's getting to those areas and he's getting the opportunities. I think it's a little bit of luck right now not going his way, to be honest with you. But he's working and he's skating and, doing them things and getting himself in those positions to get opportunities to score. I thought he was good. He was a good player for us tonight. He was physical, had some cute big hits, and was strong. The goal. He's a goal scorer. He shot. He's a goal scorer, and that's what he does. So he's an effective player.
How much has Chris handed out of the shot boxes?
Well, it's huge.
Some hard pucks today.
And when you see a guy like Tanev and there's other D blocking shots, it rubs off on everybody, and our forwards are in shot lanes blocking shots. So I think overall we've been pretty good in that area.
Do you have a thought on the empty netter that didn't count? Are you even able to challenge that?
No.
Coach Berube after the 5-2 win. We'll be back with more post-game live from Scotiabank Arena. Leafs Game Night, TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
If it's happening in baseball,
Taylor has it in the glove. It's over! It's over! The Dodgers win the pennant!
it's on MLB Network Radio.
We're joined now by Mookie Betts.
So each day when we come in the clubhouse, everybody genuinely loves each other.
Dave Roberts is with us.
I'm so proud of our guys. I mean, we've gone through so much adversity, and it's just bananas.
MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart breaking down a 5-2 win by the Maple Leafs over Tampa. Tomorrow night they're in Columbus. Thursday night they're back. And Saturday, another one of our games in Boston against the Bruins. So you look at this situation, and there's only 6 games here, so you can remember what's happened in each of them. There's no self-inflicted wound here, is there?
No. But there's been some times where there's been ups and downs. There's been times where we discussed on, a couple times where they get hemmed in their zone. But the one thing is there's no sense of panic. They're going to make their mistakes, but they're recovering really, really well. The defensive structure's there. There's layer. There's support. There's all those fundamentals that we talked about when being a gymnast and knowing that have to do your backflip. So this team is this team is very, very poised in knowing their backflip and knowing their routines, which is great. And And typically when you have a new coach coming in, sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20 games. So the fact that they're buying in and getting the results, and it's not necessarily sacrificing some offense for some guys. You saw William Nylander, 3 points tonight. Matthews now, we haven't discussed what's going on with them. Goals in 3 straights as well, too. You saw Marner getting on the score sheet. So, again, it's just a moving locomotive where all systems are go. But let's not, kid ourselves here. It's a long season, 82-game season. There are going to be ups. There's going to be downs. But win, lose, or draw, the structure's there. And I think you're going to see this group a little bit differently than years past with a lot more success because that system is getting them through a lot of these games.
There's some great individual performances. Tanev with another 8 blocks tonight. Stolarz, we talked about him quite extensively. Great goaltending, timely saves. Just absolutely broke Tampa's back. And then when you look at the star players, Austin Matthews had 6 shots that went through, another 3 that didn't, so 9 shot attempts. And Nylander had 11 shot attempts, 5 got through. Who else? Tavares had 4 that got through and 2 that didn't. So, the big guns are firing the puck. It's just that everybody else is involved as well. You're not relying on that.
Yeah, and when you have 4 or 5 forwards spread out across 3 lines, it's really, really tough to have those matchups. So if you're an opposing team and knowing that guys can get shots and get in on the cycle, I'm noticing that too. A lot of teams, a lot of these lines are getting in and having extended time of O-zone pressure. And that's what it looked on a couple of those goals where there's some breakdowns because they just took the will away. They were getting in on the forecheck. They established that early, getting the puck below the dots. And when you're chasing from the corner back to the net, recovering, it's just a tough night. So Tampa Bay really, really struggled, but the Maple Leafs, they just stuck to that system and found a way to get it done tonight. And you heard Berube talk about Nick Robertson. I noticed him jump off the sheet a little bit in the third period where a lot of it is puck luck. You saw him. He's got a lot of gumption, a lot of energy out there. He almost scored in the third period. I think it's just a matter of time before he gets in. But the line of the night had to have been the McMahon, Nylander, Domi line where they were just every single shift making stuff happen. And right now you have 3-4 solid lines on a nightly basis where if one line struggles, there's another 3 going, you're going to be a lot more successful than not.
So you're mentioning earlier about everybody involved and they're not relying on particular units of the team as would have been the case in the past. I want to talk about the physical play because in the past it was, will Reeves do it or whoever else they had before? We'll leave it up to this guy. We'll dress this guy and he'll look after everything. But the play with OEL and Gensel, that was an ongoing thing after Gensel just punched him in the face for no apparent reason. OEL got him back, and then late in the period, Domi and Gensel got into it. Domi took the major for fighting there, but they just wouldn't let that go, and I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, and in today's NHL, it's tough to, put the onus on one guy. And, the Saturday night versus the Rangers, everyone was gearing up for the heavyweight tilt between Ryan Reeves and Matt Rempe. But when you have a team that has team toughness where they're going to stick up for each other, if you go in our crease, we're going to find a way to get you. And OEL, one of the lines I wrote down was bully. He's a bully out there. And,
he loved that. He laughed at
2
the
years ago,
box.
we were writing him off and writing his retirement speech, but he just got a new lease on life in playing for the Florida Panthers. And when you win that cup, you just come with the swagger. He's got swagger out there, especially on the physical end of the puck, where if you turn your head for a second, he's going to pop you. So, I love playing with those guys because that energy is very, very contagious. And you're coupling that with Tanev, those 2 veteran guys. It's going to show some of these younger guys. And if I'm Liljegren, I'm watching them in practice. So I'm Tim, and I'm watching these guys because that is how the game is supposed to be played. And these are guys that you win the Stanley Cup with or go multiple rounds. And it's, as I'm out of adjectives, it's a treat to watch there, Taddy.
Well, it is. And you have the visual after 6 games of what OEL is going to do on a nightly basis and what Tanev's going to do on a nightly basis. And then you add in the size of these guys. And, that was clearly lacking in the past. You can now look back on the past and say, yeah, that just wasn't good enough.
Yes, and we talked about being tough to play against, and they are the definition of that, where they are not giving you an inch. You have to work for every single inch, and it's not just a bunch of big lugs back there, and they can skate. They can skate. They can make plays. Tanev has been, yes, he's been blocking shots, but if you watch him closely and watch the tape, just a breakout machine. He doesn't make the simple play, he makes the better play. And as a winger where, I had to take, some poundings, it was from just defense, just sending it along the walls. But they're making clean, crisp passes. And the fact that they're not stuck in their zone too much and getting on the offense, it's letting those Bobby McMahons and those Robertsons and Nies get into the open ice and do what they do best, and that's fly.
So we started talking about Stolarz, and we should probably end there, just because the feeling that we had tonight watching him play was different. Now, look, in the past, Samsonov did this, had a great stretch. Jack Campbell had a great stretch. In fact, Jack Campbell was a rallying point for this crowd until it went south. But this projects differently for me.
It does, and I think we'll finish on this note, too. I think it's a little bit early. I know it's October 21st, but I think we're able to say there's a new number one goaltender in the city of Toronto. And if people disagree, you can reach me at Jim Taddy on Twitter.
YesGuy.com.
Yes, and we'll have a poll tomorrow. But how do you take the crease away from him right now? He's earned an extended run, an extended leash, because it's not necessarily about the bigs. It's just the calmness and the way that the group is playing in front of him. And we haven't seen this in a while in this market.
Look, he showed something different on a nightly basis. What I liked about him on Saturday was they ran him 3 times hard and it didn't bother him. And tonight he just made those back-breaking saves at the right time. I mean, that's a different thing on a nightly basis that you're positive about. And Saturday that was in a loss, albeit 4-2 with 2 empty netters. But that's just the way 4-1. That's just the way that thing crumbled.
Yes, and there's been some other goaltending performances for the ages that the Maple Leafs have played against this season. Montembeault, and you saw Shesterkin the other night. But he had really solid nights as well, too, where if, not for them, he'd probably get a starring in that game, too. So for me, it's just the composure in the media. They're not trying to nitpick his words. He seems like he's just made for the moment, made for the market. And I'm sure he'll still be the storyline come, next month. But again, Woll, he has some good social equity within this group. I believe he's going to get an opportunity once he's healthy. But right now, it's Stolarz' job to lose.
Stu, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Always great working with the Tap Man.
That's my motto. I don't know what it's worth, but that's my motto. 5-2, the Leafs win over Tampa. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Watch TV, and I'm really fortunate that I get to watch him 82 nights a season.
So because you made some moves, you had some cap space you don't normally have. So you're not normally able to bring in a free agent the stature of what you were just describing, Jake Guentzel. So talk about what you saw in him being the right fit and how it's gone so far.
He's an elite player. He's an elite player, prime age. Only has about 600 games on his meter, so there's still a lot of rubber on that tire. High IQ, great vision, great puck skills, plays with pace, fast skater, guy who's performed at his best in high-pressure situations over the lifetime of his career. So just a really exciting acquisition for our organization when we got the chance to do that. Now, obviously, in order to do that, we had to trade a player, Mikhail Sergachev, a player whom we really like, who grew up in our organization, helped us win some cups. You don't usually trade a 26-year-old number one defenseman with size, with meanness, who can run your power play, who's under contract. Like, that's a super valuable asset. But when we're looking at the puzzle, you're always trying to build the best team possible. By trading Mikhail Sergachev to Utah, we were getting J.J. Moser, who's a top 4 defenseman in his own right, and who's only getting better, and he's 24 years old. We were getting Connor Geekie, who's coming in, just starting his entry-level contract. At the time, we didn't know if he would be able to play for us this year or not, but we're hopeful that over the term of his entry-level contract, he would be able to play for us and help us win games at the NHL level and provide really good value, cap versus performance. We're getting a second-round pick, a 7th-round pick, and we were clearing up cap space to go after Jake Guentzel. So at the end, you're looking at your puzzle. Yes, you're trading a really valuable, super valuable player in Mikhail Sergachev, but you're getting Jake Guentzel, J.J. Moser, Connor Geekie, a 2nd-round pick, and a 7th-round pick, and you're looking, is my organization in a better position to compete for the Cup if we do this? And we felt the answer was yes.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, SiriusXM 86, and the SXM app.
Utah Hockey Club General Manager Bill Armstrong joined Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. And he talked about the trade from the Tampa Bay Lightning that landed Utah, Mikhail Sergachev, how it's gone, as well as a look ahead to the trade deadline and how it relates to getting his club what they need.
A lot of media members made note of the fact that you met with the media one day and talked about patience, and you've got all the draft picks, and you have to see the players grow and mature. And all of a sudden, the next day, you orchestrate the Sergachev trade, and he has played so well for you. I guess from your perspective, what's it been like to be able to go out there and be aggressive, not just stockpile draft picks and watch these young players come around and be patient in doing so, but what's it been like for you from your perspective and what you do on a daily basis to be out there looking a little bit more aggressively than maybe you were permitted to for obvious reasons in years gone by?
Well, it's a great question. With the Sergachev thing, we felt he was kind of still in our age range, because he's only 26, and so is Jersey. So, when you can add guys in that range that you think that, if you look at, the way that Florida was, most of their D were 28. So you've got to kind of move into that bracket of age where they can, they've got some experience of playing in the National Hockey League, and I think that's the reason we did that deal. But sometimes you don't get everything through the draft. 50% of the Stanley Cup team is traded for, and so you've got to go out there and make adjustments and really add into what your club needs, and that we're moving into that era where we've got a ton of good young players coming. We still got some picks to go. But, there's going to have to be some trades made on our side to kind of further up the club and take that next step. And you saw that the way that Tampa Bay back in the day built their defense, when they got Cernak and Sergachev and McDonough. They traded for all their guys. Their only guy was pretty much Hedman that was there. And we're going to probably have to do a little bit that the same. We'll have to make some trades down the stretch, but that's why we acquired all the prospects and picks. So.
So are we saying that Utah will be a buyer when it comes around the NHL trade deadline?
Well, we're going to always look. Listen, we're a competitive club, that wants to get better every day. So if we can add at the right time, we certainly will. That's it's one of those things where it's just the progress of the team and not rushing it. Like I said, we're a fairly young team in the National Hockey League, and we're in the fourth year of the rebuild. So you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves. But if you can plan for a guy like Sergachev and the Jerseys of the world and move ahead with guys that are still young and in your age bracket, it makes sense. We're all for that. That's our big thing, is to wake up out of bed and try and improve the club every single day.
That was Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Utah Hockey Club, on the Morning Skate with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL at 7:30 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Lightning on Internet 945. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, October the 21st.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is Sirius XM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. Sirius XM NBA Radio, Sirius XM 86.
General manager for the Utah Hockey Club, Bill Armstrong, stopped by the Morning Skate with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, and he discussed what it was like on opening night in the Delta Center Arena, how they're going to make it more hockey-friendly, and why it's nice not to be in Arizona anymore, and being asked if the team will be staying in the city.
We were just talking, Bill, in the previous hour about your opener at the Delta Center. First off, describe to us what that was like inside and outside the arena. You say Ryan Smith busy with projects and such, and I know in the next 2 to 3 years, this arena that you play in is going to become a lot more hockey-friendly.
They're going to do a great job. It's kind of a 3-step process, and this is a little bit above my pay grade, but they're going to move the floor up, and then they're going to shave both ends. Allowing it to be like a steep, straight-up climb with seats on both ends. It's going to be a wild-looking rink when it's done. And, you know, one of the advantages in that, it's like the loudest building in the NBA, and it was loud for we opened on the home opener. And it's just such a great building to play in. It's pretty intimidating because as a player, you look up, and it's just these steep decks coming down at you. you know, and it's just extremely loud. So we love to play in there. It's going to be, when they finish that building, it's probably going to be one of the best hockey rinks in the National Hockey League.
What about the intangible, about not having to answer questions anymore about the future of your NHL team staying in a city? You know, because you adapt with it, you go with it, but year after year, that's got to get a little tiring.
That's true. It's like we felt it last year. We went through a bad stretch last year, and it started out with just the rumors, you know, just coming out, and just the noise around your club and the negativity. It's just, it does drain our players. It drained our organization. It's nice to be, okay, hey, we're going to be here. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to move forward. And that's the greatest thing of where we are right now. You know, our players are concentrated on playing hockey. They know they're going to be in Utah, a great place to play, an amazing rink. And, you know, I think, to be honest with you, our players are very grateful for it because they haven't had that type of security, and with the buildings around them, and knowing that our owner's building a state-of-the-art building that, you know, down the street to, you know, for our practice facility with 2 rinks, it's incredible. I think our players are enthused, our fans are enthused. It's just a positive place to be and play hockey, and you know, it's a credit to the NHL and Gary Bettman